As always, we need about a minute before the show starts. So we're going to be talking about President Trump, truth or lies. And of course, there are things going on in the media that is making me ask that question. So bear with me momentarily. Let's see if I can get this straight here. Um, and good evening to you folks that are already beginning to filter in. Good evening, Ezra. Good to see you here. I'm getting my last platform going, so I need about a minute. As always, in the beginning of the live, it takes to get the remaining platform going. Instagram, TikTok, Substack, and YouTube is where we're going to be, as usual. So bear with me real quick here. Um, Looks like we're sending paratroopers. What is this? The 83rd. Who's going over there? I think the 82nd Airborne or something like that. But it looks like they're sending a couple thousand paratroopers. So we're absolutely going to be talking about that because President Trump indicated no boots on the ground. And well, shit, if you're not going to put boots on the ground, why are you sending paratroopers to the region? So there has to be something that's worthy of discussing. I want to hear your opinions on it. I mean, a lot of you guys are military. I'm obviously not, which is where you get to educate me. I want to find out why would you do that if you're not going to put boots on the ground and get some folks to help me make that make sense. So, having said that, I think we're just about ready to go live on all platforms. I want to make sure I reverse this for my TikTok viewers. TikTok, Instagram, Substack, and YouTube. So, good evening, folks. Welcome to the program. It is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal, depending on who you want to ask. Anyhow, we're gonna. I just want to go through a few things because President Trump. I guess one thing, if you want to give him credit for, let's say, for instance, in regards to transparency, President Trump talks a lot. So, regardless of if you like him or not, he often gives you clues, so to speak, into what he's going to do. He makes his own attempt to keep the public in the know. So he doesn't go long periods of time without giving information. He's not like, let's say, President Biden, where you may have only saw President Biden on TV, get addressing the public once every few weeks. That's not President Trump. President Trump addresses the public shit damn near every day. You rarely have more than probably 3 or 4 days continuous, successive days go by where President Trump is not addressing the media, addressing the public. I don't care if it's in front of Air Force One or in front of Marine One or even on Air Force One, or of course in the Oval Office, you name it, President Trump often addresses the public, something even Obama didn't do as much as Trump. So this particular conflict we got going on with Iran, whether you want to call it an excursion, a war, or some sort of conflict, Trump is addressing the nation constantly on this. He is talking to the country. So we're going to be talking about some of the things he said, and I want you guys to help me out and get some clarity from this stuff. I'm hoping it's truths, not lies. I'm hoping it's true, but there is enough to the contrary that's leading me to ask questions. And I want to get this from a lot of my viewers. Some of you folks are military indeed, so you can certainly help educate me because I'm not military, and perhaps others that are not military as well. And of course, you know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor, so we'll be in an uncensored format. We are and always will remain MAGA friendly. The liberals are welcome. Our comments do go left to Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. Now, real quick, listen, I don't like to censor, but we have had a couple issues with a little bit of shit. So we may have to soften it up in terms of, a little rough around the edges type of dialogue. And you guys, all you folks know what I'm talking about. So, but we don't normally believe in censorship. We don't normally believe in censorship whatsoever. Unfortunately, the apps, particularly TikTok, censors heavy. So there's all sorts of things you cannot say on TikTok, otherwise the damn app will time out and censor. Doesn't happen that way on Substack, doesn't happen that way, at least not yet on YouTube, doesn't happen that way on Instagram, but it does happen on TikTok. And until they get over the snowflake operators at that particular platform, we will have to soften some of the rhetoric a little bit. But other than that, I don't believe in blocking, banning, or censoring guests. We're all about free speech here. So looking at the comments, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, put your hands together for the handsome liberal, says handsome conservative. Appreciate that. That's a hell of an intro. Thank you for that, along with your support, handsome conservative. Always a supporter of the program. Thank you very much. Absolutely. So, what I want to give you folks is some recent statements from our commander in chief. I would like for maybe perhaps you guys can help me clear this up, because you see we're asking, is some of this stuff true or is it something otherwise? Now, this is President Trump. Either, I think this was yesterday. I think he said this yesterday, but it's worthy of, I'm only going to give a little bit of this, but it's worthy of noting.
Send Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff to do direct negotiations with the Iranians.
Yeah, well, we're in negotiations, as it turned out, and now you've seen what I said yesterday was exactly correct. We're in negotiations right now. They're doing it along with Marco, JD. We have a number of people doing it, and the other side, I can tell you, they'd like to make a deal.
What makes you trust them?
I don't trust anybody. I don't trust you. Why do you say what makes you trust? Do you think I trust them? I don't trust them.
Then why bother talking to them?
Because they're going to make a deal. They're going to make a deal. They did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. And it was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money. And I'm not going to tell you what that present is, but it was a very significant prize. And they gave it to us, and they said...
So he's talking about Iran. He's talking about Iran. He's suggesting that not only does Iran want to negotiate with us, but they gave us a very big present worth a lot of money. That sounds like a lot of positivity coming out of this conflict for the United States. That sounds good. President Trump perhaps is on the brink of doing something extremely beneficial to us all, perhaps depending on what the gift is. But this sounds like President Trump may have gotten a bum rap when he's actually doing something on behalf of the United States in the Iranian theater. However, I want to give you a news story, and this has been played on many outlets, but this one is, I won't say breaking because it's not exactly new, but this is coming out of the news wires in response to what we just played you from President Trump.
Military has accused the United States of negotiating with itself over the conflict in the Middle East. A spokesperson added, "Someone like us will never come to terms with someone like you." Well, President Trump insists his administration is talking to the right people in Iran and that they badly want a deal to end the war. Well, Mr. Trump also claimed he had been given a great prize by Iranian negotiators, adding it was related to oil and gas and the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has said what it called non-hostile vessels can pass through the strait, which is critical to the global economy. Well, from Washington, David Willis begins our coverage.
So you hear what she says, is that, President Trump indicated he was negotiating with the Iranians and they gave us a gift, et cetera, et cetera. The Iranian military says Trump is negotiating with himself. You heard her say that they said we would never negotiate with, they want to negotiate with J.D. Vance. They've made it clear because J.D. Vance has prior statements indicating he was against a war with Iran. So does Tulsi Gabbard, to be honest with you, and of course Joe Kent, who is he's no longer in the administration. There are some members of Trump's administration that were not in favor of going into Iran, and they have statements out there, but they've indicated that if they are going to negotiate, they do not want to negotiate with President Trump. The Iranians have already said that if there ever is a negotiation process, they do not want to negotiate with Trump. So in our segment of Truths or Lies, why are they saying they're not negotiating with Trump when Trump is saying not only is he negotiating with Iran, but they're giving us gifts? Obviously, someone is not being forthcoming. Somebody is not telling the truth. Who do you follow? The commander-in-chief of this great nation, President Trump? Or some member of the Iranian foreign, what do they call them? The foreign dignitary. Who do you believe is telling the truth? Our adversaries or our president? Because they're giving conflicting stories. But this is not where we're going to end this. There is more to this. And that is indeed, I see some folks are talking about it in the comments already, but you know, Trump had indicated that the war was, for the most part, a cakewalk, and we had already won this war, but you see things going on right now that make you kind of question that, which is a whole nother statement in itself. But once again, this is President Trump less than a week ago.
Iran is just a military operation to you, but do you not have a day after plan? And if so, what is your day after plan for Iran?
Well, we have a lot. Look, if we left right now, it would take 10 years for them to rebuild. But we're not ready to leave yet. But we'll be leaving in the near future. We'll be leaving in pretty much the very near future. But right now, they've been decimated from every standpoint. And again,
and this, even though this isn't the clip I meant to play, I do want to ask you, does it appear that we're going to be leaving in the near future when we are literally sending troops to the region? Does it? I mean, because he's saying we're going to be leaving in the near future. Does it appear to be that way? Why would you send troops if you're going to be leaving soon? Not to mention asking for $200 billion in funding. So I do want to, but what I actually was looking for, perhaps maybe I did play the right clip. Let me see the rest of that. I think because this is what I want you folks to hear in regards to that clip.
Had great support from countries in the Middle East, great support, but we've had no support from, essentially, no support from NATO.
The Iranian regime has told Sky News, if you put boots on the ground in Iran, it will be another Vietnam. Are you afraid of that?
No, I'm really not afraid of anything.
Iran is just a military operation.
The part we didn't play here, which is, I don't know why the clip got cut off, but President Trump was asked about putting boots on the ground, and he was saying that he was not going to do that. And what we're talking about now is, I think the 82nd Airborne is headed there now, about 2,000 paratroopers. You know what paratroopers do. So the question is, if he is saying no boots on the ground, why are we sending paratroopers to the region? I mean, paratroopers, is that not their specialty? Boots on the ground? So why is he saying no boots on the ground? And I suppose I could cue up the clip for anybody who wants to hear him say the words, but he absolutely said no boots on the ground. But why would he be suggesting no boots on the ground if they're sending paratroopers? What other role are they likely to play? Why would paratroopers be going over there in that number if there are no boots on the ground? So we're talking about truths and lies, whether or not the information coming out of this event is accurate, or is there a deliberate attempt to deceive the public? Because I think all of you heard this statement here also coming from President Trump.
For you that this peace deal will work out, like as a human,
On what?
on a human level, not as the president of the United States. How hopeful are you that this peace deal will work out with Iran?
You're talking about to end it? Well, I think we're going to end it. I can't tell you for sure. I don't like to say this. We've won this. This war has been won. The only one that likes to keep it going is the fake news. I mean, the New York Times, you read the New York Times, it's like we're not winning a war where they have no Navy and they have no Air Force and they have no nothing. And we literally have planes flying over Tehran and other parts of their country. They can't do a thing about it. For instance, if I want to take down that power plant, that very big, powerful power plant, they can't do a thing about it. It's like, take me. That's all they can do. And yet, if you read the New York Times or if you watch it,
And of course, it's going to attack the media or whatever, but why is he saying we won and then sending in paratroopers? Who wins a war and then sends paratroopers, asks for $200 million? Why would you do that for a war that's been won? Have we ever done that before? Won a war, then started sending in paratroopers and asking for money? I mean, it seems like those things are being done in reverse. So I do want to hopefully you guys can help me clear this up. And I'm looking in the comments. It's kind of weird how they keep saying rising star. I don't know why it's doing that, but continuing on, they're asking for 200 billion, not million. Yeah, 200 billion with a B as in Bravo. Why would you ask for that type of money if the conflict is already over and already won? I'm not getting clarity in that. And I see in the comments somebody said, just in case, bro. Just in case of what? Just, Ayo Spade says, just in case. $200 billion just in case of what? That's a huge sum of money. Your son or daughter is going off to school. Dad, could you lend me 15,000 just in case of what? What the hell are you expecting that you need that kind of money for? So, just in case, that's a whole lot of just in case money. $200 billion kind of sounds like a war in itself, is it not? We didn't spend anywhere near that type of money taking out Maduro. What are you expecting in regards to a just in case? Just in case you didn't get it right about winning? Somebody let me know. So, and somebody said this war, anything can happen. Happen how? It's over with. We've won. If we've won, why keep making these statements like something else is still going on? I thought we won. So let me go back. Let me go straight to the box right away. Tap the screen, get us up to 10,000. We'll take the first caller at 10. He said it's not a war, says SJ. Yeah, well, he said both. I believe he was asked, is it a war or is it an excursion? And his response was, it could be both or something like that. Why play word games on this? I don't know. This will go down in history as a war. So all of this conversation about it's not a war, it's an excursion. And thank you for the hat mustache, alter ego. Appreciate that. Help your boy out, folks, with the hat mustache, TikTok cap go. You know, I'm gotta solicit that. Gotta solicit support. Thank you very much, alter ego, though. But fact is, it doesn't matter what they're calling this now. It's going to go down in history as a war. Mike the Sailor, James Harper, yeah, thank you. Has any event ever went down in history, militarily wise, as an excursion? Have you ever heard anything we've done in the past, militarily wise, referred to as an excursion? That term is something they're trying to use now that's not going to have any history behind it. It's going to go down in history, highly likely as a war. I don't even know if we use conflict in reference to anything we've done in the past. All of that stuff, whether we're talking Vietnam, Korea, stuff in Panama, all of that stuff is called war. It's not called any of these other names they're throwing out. The history books calls all of that stuff war. So I think they can play games with the name for now, but eventually it will come out as a war. And by the way, it's interesting that you could do what has been done. And for the great, thank you very much. Tap the screen, folks. Get us up to 10,000. What's crazy is the cost of this, and we're still saying it's not a war. That means that Trump did all of this by himself, without Congress, without anyone. So I don't know how much this is going to end up costing us, but all of this so far has been at the behest of one man. He did all of this on his own. He even got members in his administration that were against this, like Tulsi Gabbard and now ousted Joe Kent. He did all of this. Think about how much money that is being expended on this. One man did all of this. Is that not amazing or what? Let me go to the box. We'll make it happen with I don't know. We'll start out with Love to Cruise. Good evening, Love to Cruise. What's a war? Yeah, if this isn't a war, what is a war? I would like to know what the definition of a war is. Love to Cruise. What terminology or what name would you give what's going on in Iran?
Man, look here. If it quacks like a duck and walks like a duck and ain't a damn dog. Okay? This is a war. If it isn't war and we're paying all this damn money, I don't want to see us go to war.
Yeah. But he says it's won already. So are we close to the ending?
No, we're just beginning. You know, I heard yesterday, and I don't know how this, you probably know about, we just sent paratroopers over there.
The 82nd Airborne, 2,000 of them. What do you think the goal is of that? Are you suggesting perhaps putting boots on the ground in Iran is?
Well, yeah, Tim, yeah. I mean, it don't take that much of a scholar to figure out if you're sending paratroopers over there, what they're going to be used for. Well, damn sure ain't minors.
But he is saying that there's no intention of doing that. He said he's not going to do that.
I don't pay attention what the fuck he says. You know, you got to look at the actions with him. You know, if you're sending paratroopers over there, it just ain't sending them over there to take crochet classes.
Do you intend to lift sanctions on Iranian oil, and do you intend to potentially put U.S. troops or more troops in the region?
No, I'm not putting troops anywhere. If I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you. But I'm not putting troops. Iran is a serious threat to the world.
So you hear him saying he's not putting troops, and there, he goes into actually uses the phrase "boots on the ground." But so what are you suggesting? He's not being honest about that?
Man, when has he been honest? You know, of course it's not in his nature to be honest.
Well, he was honest about defending the border.
Come on, man. Come on.
Well, but he was honest about that. He was honest about that.
He hasn't been honest about nothing since he took office. Look, as long as I know they still fighting in Iran. I know our power still ain't got cut by 50%. I know everything else he said has been a damn lie. You know, eggs, food in general hasn't came down. You know, as a matter of fact, you tell me what he told the truth about.
Well, securing the border, getting men out of women's sports. He was honest about that.
Oh, yeah, both of them. Yeah, both of them. He got them both out of, yeah.
But he did that, though. Those are things he was honest about.
I'm talking about major shit, not two men was in women's sports and he got both of them out.
Well, you know they say one is too many.
Yeah, okay. Well, compared to what's going on, that's a minor issue right now.
Well, if you're concerned about major issues, you do understand the Trump administration indicates that had they not invaded Iran was not only about to get their hands on a nuclear weapon, they would have used it by now. That's what Trump stated.
Look here, that's an Israel thing. Who's worried about them having nuclear bombs more than Israel? They're not going to build nothing that can make it over here. And if they do, God help them.
Well, but I'm hearing that they did have ICBMs. I think even Denkow was on here yesterday saying that they did have ICBMs that they were getting close to developing weapons that could reach the U.S. mainland. Now, they don't have the stuff that goes out in space and comes back, because they don't have the re-entry capability. So they can shoot it in space, but trying to get back in the Earth's atmosphere, they don't have what it takes to break through. But they can send stuff that flies at regular altitude. And apparently they had stuff that they were getting close to having stuff that could reach the U.S. mainland.
Bullshit. Look here.
All right, this is what I'm being. Well, they did fire 2 long-range missiles They were firing them at some U.S./UK held island out in the middle of the, I don't know which body of water it was, but it was a few thousand miles away. And these things were apparently capable of reaching it. They shot one down and another one malfunctioned. So they do have long range capabilities.
They may have long range. You know how many defenses they have to go to before they get to us? You know, come on. I mean, how many anti-missile areas, I'm not sure what they're called. I'm sure Dincal or Travelman know before they get to us. And then the fact that we know that they fired, we got shit that'll reach them before that shit even reaches us.
Well, even if they don't hit the U.S. mainland, what about, you know, certain islands we control, Maui, Hawaii, and stuff like that? I mean, what about hitting other? I mean, those are still, you know, those are territories, but that's still, for the most part, just like hitting the U.S. You know, hitting the U.S. mainland. If you hit Puerto Rico, or I'm trying to think of the globe in my head where they're positioned at, but we have territories and things like that all around the world.
I understand that. You're not going to hit St. Thomas, St. John's, Hawaii, Alaska, none of that. They're not going to hit none of that, man. I mean, I disagree with the war 100%. But understand this. When shots are fired and our men and women are over there with their lives on the line, I'm behind us 100%. You know, and I don't believe they have anything that can do anything to us over here. But that's the problem. We're over there, and we're fighting in their backyard, man. We're fighting in the mountains and all. Yeah. It's going to be a long, drawn-out war.
But what about the fact that they do have stuff that could hit our bases that are there? I mean, is that not something to be concerned with in itself?
Yeah, that's problematic. That is problematic. I mean, you know, the thing is, like I said, I'm not behind the war 100% at all. Okay, but I also disagree with announcing if you're sending paratroopers and if you're sending all this, I don't believe anybody should know about it. You know.
Well, I mean, in a country with the amount of freedom we have, I suppose you could do it, but it might be hard. I mean, there are cameramen at bases and things like that. I suppose you'd have to pass some new laws, but I mean, we have enough freedom in this country that you can kind of tell based on planes taking off and things like that. You're sending that many people. I suppose it could be done in secret if you really wanted to, but you'd probably have to change some laws.
Look at the punk ass Trump that took billions of dollars from us and we ain't heard nothing about that. So he can take all that money and hide it and we don't hear about that yet. He can hide the troops going over there and put, you know what, that's what makes me so mad. You're doing things and you're putting their lives in line. You know, you don't, if you're going to send people over here, give us the edge.
What do you mean?
And don't give up, you know, when Obama hit for bin Laden, ain't nobody even know that. That was a special announcement. Oh, we got bin Laden. Like,
but taking out bin Laden compared to what we're doing with Iran, that's just a big undertaking. This is significantly greater than once. The most difficult thing with bin Laden is finding out where his ass was. Once we found out where he was, it was pretty much just like taking out Maduro. In fact, it probably was easier to take out bin Laden than Maduro. So once we found him, that was easy. But what we're doing with Iran, where we're trying to literally change fundamentally how the country is ran, that's huge.
No, see, you missing the point. It isn't about taking them out or which task is bigger.
Okay.
It's about shutting the fuck up and doing what you got to do.
Okay, so if
you're gonna hit them, if you're gonna hit somebody, you know, you're from Chicago. You know, if you hit somebody, you hit them hard. You don't mess around and tell them what's coming. You hit them, and you hit them.
Kind of like a Bad Boys Move in Silence or some shit like that.
Yeah, you know, if you're gonna hit somebody, like I said, I disagree with it, but if you're gonna be a dumbass and do it, then hit them. Yeah. And hit them so that our troops and our men and women don't have to be hurt.
Well, for what Trump is trying to do, regime change and put in someone that is favorable to us, the stuff that Trump gave them like a 15-point plan of what they must do. There's no way to do that in silence. I mean, he literally is talking about fundamentally changing how their country operates. He wants to have a say-so in the Strait of Hormuz, all of that stuff. There's no way to do that in secrecy. He's trying to some degree, he's taking over the operations of their country.
Once it starts, you can't do it in silence. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying, when it initially starts, you should have went ahead and hit them hard with everything you got at that time.
Would you have supported that?
No, I don't support it all. But if you're going to do it, I got to stand by the United States, unfortunately. But I mean, just because I stand behind you doesn't mean I agree with what you're doing.
But let me ask. Okay, you said I got to stand behind the United States. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean I agree with what you're doing. Let me ask you that, because some folks suggest that even if you disagree with an operation of the United States, let's say, for instance, you genuinely believe what the United States doing puts them in the wrong. I want to ask you, as a citizen, are you military? Are you former military?
No, I got what, 17 family members?
Fair enough. Fair enough. I got plenty, but I'm not military either. But let me ask you this though. Do you believe, as a patriot, you should have to you're obligated to stand by your nation, even if you believe what your nation is doing is wrong?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I'm asking this because we're talking about Iran, but right now Cuba, thanks to President Trump's oil embargo, has been plunged into darkness. So they're already talking about hospitals over there where everybody that was on life support has died because we prevented that country from getting energy. So what we're doing in Cuba is probably even worse to the Cubans than what we're doing in Iran is right now. So that's why I asked this. So we have to stand by our nation while they do that to Cuba, even though obviously Cuba is virtually of zero threat to the United States. So you're saying stand by your country, even if you feel what your country is doing is wrong.
Well, and unfortunately, what I mean by standing by your country doesn't mean you stand by your government. Like I said, I got a lot of family members in the military, and I'm not going to sit up here and while they're sending them to go fight and say they're wrong.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to support them 100%, and that's where I'm stuck at. It isn't so much I agree with Trump or anything. I got family members that I love and care about,
right?
And I am going to stand behind them.
All right, fair enough. And the reason I'm asking that also is this has remnants of Vietnam, because back during the Vietnam War, and most of us are probably not even old enough to remember it, but from the stories of soldiers coming back and being spat on and cursed out, our country did not used to have that mindset that you support the soldiers if they were involved in something that you thought was wrong. Now, I get what you're saying. They don't have any choice but to follow orders. But fact is, you're following bad orders and you're coming back to a hero's welcome for doing something that might be considered dastardly. Our country didn't used to stand by the soldiers that done something they felt was wrong. So that is different now, because we do treat our soldiers as if they're like right now what's going on in Iran. Do you feel it's correct to suggest they are over there fighting for our freedom?
No.
Yeah.
No. All that, so the whole campaign and everything Trump does is based on fear. The fact he's going to tell American people, oh, they got nuclear and they were pointing them at us, and the ones that do follow him, that's what they're based it on. Hey, I'd rather pay higher gas prices and blah 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 than have a nuclear bomb pointed at us. But and it's all fear. There's no common sense or no rationale or any proof on anything that he says.
Well, some folks just think he has America's best interest at heart, and that leaves little room to need to question him. Some folks just believe he is the best for this country, has the greatest intention. So why the hell are you constantly questioning the guy? Just let him do his job, is what some would say.
Yeah, that's a mega bullshit. And hey man, I sent you, I don't know if you looked, I sent you some things. There's a psychiatrist named Lucas Bean, Bean, and he's a psychiatrist, and he breaks down mega. and why they feel the way they feel. And this, I sent you a bunch of links.
I don't even need that. I talked to some. I know why MAGA feels the way they feel. I'll have to check it out. I haven't checked any of my DMs or anything today, but I'd have to see it. But I already know. I talked to enough MAGA. I've been talking to MAGA for almost 10 years now. I know why they feel the way they do.
No, the reason behind the psyche, though, is deep. I'm telling you. Is really deep. Like he says, most of MAGA are stupid. I mean, that's what he said. I mean, he said that.
I don't know if I would say MAGA's stupid. I believe.
And then he said that Trump is, I guess, a little smarter than I think. He's issuing out, whether they know it or not, they're getting brainwashed. Just like fake news. He said Trump said that over 20,000 times. And the fact that if you're weak-minded, eventually you start associating that word, and can't nobody, the minute you hear that word, you're already on the defense.
Well, I don't just attribute the fake news claim to President Trump, because that started, that I can remember, with Sarah Palin, former governor of Alaska, Sarah Palin, the mainstream media. They were complaining that the media was skewed left before Trump even came on the scene. Trump just took it to a whole new level, complaining literally every time you put a camera on his face. But the right was already complaining about that.
You know where he got it from?
Who?
You know where Trump, you remember when he went to trial, you know one of his best friends is, right? Was the editor of the National Enquirer.
Yes. The guy who tried to get Hillary Clinton, the guy who helped smash Hillary Clinton's campaign with all those negative stories.
Now, if you're going to get fake news, where are you going to get it from? Nobody but him.
Well, Trump, let's be clear. It's just like with election fraud. It's not that Trump does not want fraud in our elections, or Trump does not want fake media. He just doesn't want this stuff when it's a detriment to him. If the media is lying, but they're lying in his favor, he doesn't have a problem with it. If election fraud is taking place, but it's happening in his favor, he does not have a problem with it. So you're right. The Inquirer is not known for telling authentic stories, but because he was, like you said, a friend of the main person over there, the stories were working in his favor. They were anti-Hillary Clinton stories.
No doubt, but I'm just saying, but I don't understand if you got common sense and a little bit of education or something up there upstairs. Why can't you see this? And that's where my man Lucas was like, MAGA's stupid.
I don't believe MAGA's stupid. You won't hear me say that. I think there's plenty of MAGA that are educated. I just think they got their eye on a different prize than maybe you do or someone else does.
I understand, Tim. You ain't gonna say it. If motherfuckers are giving me hats and galaxies and shit.
No, actually, MAGA, most of my support from the program doesn't come from MAGA. So I'm not getting a bunch. I wish MAGA would support the program like that.
Whatever they give it, I wouldn't say this shit either. You know, I'm not gonna say nothing against nobody that's throwing galaxies. And even my dumb ass throws you a motherfucking hat and everything when you ask for it. So I understand. I ain't gonna say nothing bad.
Thank
Look
you.
here, on that Cuba thing, you do know Obama had opened up relations with Cuba.
Right. I mean, Obama had made it. I think Jay-Z and Beyonce had one. Obama had made it so you could visit Cuba again.
I was selling cruises over there.
Wow.
People were going over to Havana, and the minute Trump got in office, he closed everything up. So all this could have been already. We could already have relations with Cuba and got them on our side and everything else, but not one bullet being fired. But Trump is the one that did this.
Well, the man says he's trying to protect the nation. I got to move it on, Lewis, but the man says he's doing what's right for this country. So go figure. Appreciate that.
One thing, man.
Yeah.
Man, quit falling for that straight talk, dumbass commerce.
Straight talk commerce is respectable MAGA. He likes to come on the program.
Hey man, the other day he had a Sherbert that put a galaxy up there, and you let him get away with this. They were talking, and straight talk lied his ass off, saying he was walking the halls of NATO and heard another country say that they wasn't going to pay the United States. And I couldn't get in. You wouldn't pick me. You let this motherfucker tell that big ass bullface lie like that, man.
I don't recall that. I'm gonna plead no contest.
I don't know Sherbert on here now or whatever, man. The man said he was walking the halls of NATO and heard another country say they weren't going to pay United States, man. I started to turn away from you at that point. I said, this motherfucker ain't going to say nothing.
I'm going to plead no contest. Maybe I didn't hear that. I'm going to plead no contest, but I got to move it on.
All right, man.
I'm sure that's going to come up. All right, moving on. That is Lewis. And by the way, Lewis, I appreciate the occasional hat and mustache. Thank you very much. Certainly appreciate the support from all of you folks. So thank you very much for even bringing that up. Looking in the comments, though, I will say it again. No problem, says Straight Talk. So Straight Talk is in the comment section. He is saying indeed he heard a nation state they were not going to do that. So he's saying that again. Looking in the comments, by the way, whoa! Thank you for that good Galaxy Blue One Banks. Thank you very much. Who said he is a Sexy Red says he is just a specialized dropout. How do you specialize in being a dropout? That's like a specialized dummy. How do you specialize in being a dropout? You slow if you think left versus right does not exist. Yeah, who would say it doesn't? Even if that were the true IO, what the hell does that have to do with your... Okay, you guys are speaking amongst each other. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any comments there. Tim, how would you feel if wait a minute. How would you feel if a man was 200 miles away from you and said that he was coming to beat you up and couldn't come to you? I would feel that the threat was irrelevant. That's a good point, I think, because folks suggest that one of the reasons we went into Iran is they've been yelling death to America. You hear that all the time on the right. They were yelling death to America. We had to do something. Well, his question here, Joe Fitzpatrick says, how would you feel if a man was 200 miles away from you and said he was coming to beat you up and couldn't come to you? And if I'm interpreting his statement right, which would be a good point, they're yelling death to America, but they don't even have a way of implementing that, of actually doing that. It's an empty threat if they can't carry it out. So that's a good point. And as of now, we haven't seen any evidence that they could carry out such a threat. The chat doesn't believe in reality. It's okay, so the dude says war has no rules and provides no further elaboration. Actually, war does have rules. Geneva Convention, there's war crimes. War does have rules. If you would not have had the Nuremberg trials if war had no rules. Germany was clearly at war. So everything with the Holocaust and all of that shit would be acceptable. I'll tell you it is. The victor generally doesn't have to answer to war crimes. Even though in most major wars, the victor has committed war crimes as well. Like, for instance, America, had we lost World War II, the firebombing of Tokyo would probably have been considered a war crime because we deliberately burned housing. These were not military targets. We knew their structures were made of wood. We dropped bombs that were designed to splinter their residences and then dropped incendiary bombs behind it. So we wanted to shatter all of their wooden houses to splinters, and then we dropped shit to set them on fire. These are residential districts. Those are not war targets, military targets. That would have been a war crime. The same thing happened in Dresden, Germany. We did the same thing to that country's, one of their cities, which was just really like an artsy city. It had no military value targets to it, but we won World War II, so we didn't have to answer to our war crimes. But there are rules in war. I don't know why people always say that there's no rules in war. There are rules in war. There absolutely are. People end up paying for what they did if they lose. It's just you win, you don't have to pay for it. But anyway, going back to the box, tap the screen, get us on up to 20,000. He's got the House and Senate. Move on. What do you say? I voted for Trump 3 times, dummy. He lost me at Epstein. Who? Yeah, Trump did say that, didn't he? Epstein, like he didn't know who Epstein was, and then he started talking about the Democrats, it's a hoax. Stop talking about Epstein. He absolutely made it clear early in his re-election term he didn't want Epstein to really be up for discussion. He said several things to indicate, I don't want you guys talking about this. I'd rather we talk about something else. But It is what it is. Continuing on with New Jersey's best, Tamar. Good evening, Tamar. Welcome to the program. It became a big, straight talk. It did become a big deal when you're constantly trying to hide something that both sides of the aisle is asking about. You're begging to make it become a big deal. Tamar, good evening.
What's up, Tim?
Not much at all. Not much at all. So Trump is still suggesting. Last we heard, no boots on the ground, but yet the 82nd Airborne, 2,000 paratroopers. Do
you ever see a cartoon that like when the character's hiding behind the little skinny tree and like to hide from somebody?
Okay.
That's like what America's trying to do. Oh, we're not going to attack, but nobody sees us. But they're just buying time.
So you're saying America? You're saying America is portraying an image that all the world can see right through?
Yeah, I mean, how many times are you going to stab them in the back? They were negotiating with you. They basically had a deal right before the first day that the attack happened, and hours later they started attacking.
You make it sound like
that's facts.
You literally make it sound like the United States, headed by Trump, is kind of operating or negotiating on bad faith.
It ain't saying it is. And yeah, I have to root for America, Travelman was saying, because we live here. But that doesn't mean necessarily that you have to agree with what they're doing. Just like the Italians didn't agree with Mussolini when he was doing his stuff. Some people probably did, but some people didn't. Just like Sterling, a lot of people was living under Russia, but that doesn't necessarily mean they agreed with what was happening. You understand what I'm saying?
I get that.
And mustache people.
Well, speaking of which, in regards to President Trump, and you're feeling that he's operating on bad faith. In the comments on YouTube, Eric Barnum says, do you all feel, I guess he's talking to other folks, but I'm gonna pass this on in the main program. Do you feel that Trump should be impeached? Now, you remember the Democrats tried this twice already to no avail, at least not as far as they wanted. He has officially been impeached twice, but it didn't stop his reign, so to speak. Do you believe they should make it? Huh?
I believe it's impeachable offenses. What he said, he said war yesterday like 5 times when he was speaking.
Okay.
But it's not a war.
Democrats. Well, let me ask it to you this way: Democrats. Let's say Democrats win in November, the midterms, which is widely expected to happen, plus or minus the Save America Act. But let's say the Democrats win, in the midterms, and you're in the position of Hakeem Jeffries. You become the Speaker of the House, replacing Mike Johnson. It's your decision to decide whether or not to impeach him. Would you go for a third attempt? That sounds sinister. That laugh.
Yeah, it was meant to. Yeah, absolutely.
A third attempt.
Absolutely.
Now the first two apparently backfired.
He literally said it. Said it, Tim. He said that if they lose the midterms, that the first thing they're going to do is impeach him. That's why he's trying to get the SAVE Act passed, because he knows that there's no way for him.
I get what you're saying, but when Trump is talking about the Democrats, you're right. He did say if he loses the midterms, the Democrats are going to try to impeach him. But he also indicates the Democrats tried to assassinate him. So Trump is going to put the Democrats in as dark of a light as he can. I mean, he blames the assassination attempt on Democrats. I mean, Charlie Kirk's death, they blame on Democrats. So that's just kind of what happens. But you would go for a third impeachment. What about the possibility it might backfire? Some say the two Nancy Pelosi orchestrated backfired.
I mean, they didn't really have what they have now.
What do you mean?
You can get them on fraud, basically. There's somebody. I was listening to something today, and they were saying that when he said that they were going to hold off for 5 days, that somebody made a big purchase on the stocks.
Yeah, I just saw that, but I didn't get a chance to really go into it. I saw that, right before I came on
After
live.
he was saying that.
Yeah.
Seconds, Tim. Think about that. Like this is possibly the most corrupt administration in history.
Straight Talk says this. Straight Talk says it's the Biden crime family. That's what Straight Talk says.
Wow, he makes the Biden crime family look like freaking like Lassie.
Mike the Sailor, appreciate the hat and mustache. Thank you, Mike the Sailor. No, I mean, go ahead.
He makes the Biden crime family look like the You ever watch Breaking Bad? Remember Jesse's little crew? that's what he makes the Biden crime family look like.
Well, look, the man has a lot of power, so I do believe that a lot of things Trump does, other politicians have done, but because he has so much power, I just think they're kind of just doing it out in the open. I mean, like the cryptocurrency and selling Teslas on the White House lawn, that stuff is kind of, that is really something a president should not be doing, but because of the amount of power, he's just doing it out in the open.
And listen to this, Tim. I was trying to get your attention earlier this week. When he, I think it was Monday when he was on the runway, he was speaking to the reporters, and he said, "Oh, we knocked out all their communications, right?" Mm-hmm. He said they can't even communicate with each other, but somehow they're communicating with him. How is that even possible? Knocked out their line of communications, but they can't even communicate with each other. We don't even know who's in charge, but somehow they're communicating with you.
He did. I do remember him saying that. That is a good point. After you say they can't communicate with each other, but somehow you talking to them. Look, sometimes it takes an astute ear such as yours to put two and two together, because I think a lot of folks did not do that, because plenty of people do believe he is talking to the Iranians as he is saying.
And I got another one for you. So Tulsi Gabbard, when she was I might have jacked up her last name.
Tulsi Gabbard. Thank you for the hat and mustache, Blue One Banks. You're talking about Tulsi Gabbard.
When she was testifying, she said the same thing that the Joe guy that just quit.
Joe Kent,
said about the father.
My caller must have a call.
About him not wanting to. Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, go ahead.
Right here. I'm sorry. He said the same thing about the father not believing in nuclear weapons because of religious reasons, that they was only enriching to a certain percentage for other reasons, but it wasn't for nuclear weapons. That's why they was never going to do that unless somebody was doing it behind the father's back, which I highly doubt, because they don't play that type of shit out there.
Yeah, my thing I have to wonder is, and I don't have the educational savvy to even remotely know the answer to this, but how long does it take to develop a nuclear weapon? I mean, because we've been saying that Iran is trying to get a nuclear weapon for about a generation. Like, how long does it take to actually do this? I mean, because we went from
90% or something like that.
You said what?
I think you have to be up to 90%.
Yeah, but how long does it take to go from scratch to the point where you've enriched uranium to the point where you can make, weapons grade material? How long does it take to go from nothing to that?
That part I don't know, but you got to think about it. If they was really close, remember when North Korea was close? Wasn't they firing rockets, testing rockets before they actually had the thing?
Yeah,
we never seen that from Iran. They wasn't. This is a whole bunch of bullshit. They were not a threat to us, and it's gonna go down as one of the greatest lies behind
Iraq. What the hell? TikTok once again has just dropped the assets for some reason. I'll probably have to end up appealing it. Let me see what happens, because there was nothing said there. So my guess is it'll come right back. We probably got somebody out there reporting it. I'm just reading the I'm actually reading the reason to appeal. We'll see if it comes back through, and if so, we'll come right back on with TikTok. But that was crazy, because nothing was said for that to happen. But I'll look in the comments and continue to show from the comment section for now while we see what happens with the appeal. But there was no reason for that to happen. Let me see here. It's one of it says reviewing. Looking in the comments, it's getting hard to do a show with that. Listen, at the end of the day, when you got a group, we go. What do we say? We go left of Mom Donnie till I'm having dinner with Q. So we bring everybody together. And unfortunately, which is why you don't see a lot of programs on the internet where you got folks from all sides of the aisle in one area, because a lot of people don't get along. When people are when folks on the right are criticizing the left, we get folks on the left that are reporting people. When the left is criticizing the Trump side, we get Trumpers that start reporting people. This is not an era where we can say, only liberals believe in cancel culture. No, there's plenty of Republicans that do too. So we have a forum where people on both sides of the aisle in big numbers are here. There's probably, easily 100 MAGA between the platforms, and there's probably a few hundred liberals between all of the platforms. So some people just do not like hearing their side criticized and things of that nature. So it does happen. Tim, you can get free internet numbers from text now. What do you mean by what is a free internet number? Let me know about that. The fiber optic lines under the straight holes, all the information in the world. I don't believe that. Why would all of the fiber optic lines, why would they put them under the Strait of Hormuz? That would be probably one of the most unsafe places to put that. There are plenty of lines that go across the Atlantic and Pacific. I don't know. And nowadays with satellite and shit like that, I don't know if I agree or believe what you're saying at that level. I don't think they all go. There may be some important lines that go through that, but I don't think all of the information in the world, as you're saying, I don't think it's to that level. But looking in the comment section here, I'm just looking here. Yeah, I don't know why that TikTok did that, but it is what it is. Looking in the comment section here, based on reports from March 2026, the furthest Iran has fired a ballistic missiles approximately 4,000 kilometers, roughly 2,500 miles. Yeah, and somebody asked me what has happened tomorrow. They took the app down. TikTok, for just because of what we're talking about. I guess talking about the war is enough. Here's one of the things I will say that concerns me. And I said this when the whole TikTok is owned by China, they must sell out and things like that came up. I said then when the owner of TikTok fell into Trump-friendly hands because the entities that now own TikTok, now that it's no longer in Chinese hands, at least the American portion of it, they're Trump-friendly people. I said then that you're probably going to start having censorship from the right. I'm not saying that the left have not been big on censorship of right-wing opinions and things like that in the past. I'm not saying that. Look, some folks on the right have a good point to be made. That's why I always say I'm MAGA friendly, because I know a lot of media platforms do not let MAGA speak. That's why I continue saying this program is MAGA friendly. However, MAGA does believe in censorship too. They favor free speech when MAGA opinions are being said. But MAGA will censor liberal opinions as well. Trump has no problem censoring. Look what he's doing with the media now. He does not want liberal programs on the air. It's not that he's seeking programs to be fair. He wants media to be favorable to him. So it does come from both sides. That's false. TikTok has always been like that. I've been doing lives, 5 years. No, Angry Patriot, I disagree with you. As somebody who has been doing almost daily lives for about 5 years straight, the censorship on TikTok now is greater than it was before the Chinese got kicked out of it. It was censorship then too. I'm not disagreeing with you there, but it is greater and stronger now. It is far more happening now than it was then. So it's gotten worse. It has not gotten better. I'll give you another example. Twitter. You guys remember the app known as Twitter, now called X? The folks on the right were suggesting there was a lot of liberal censorship there. Elon Musk purchased Twitter, changed it to X. look at it now. It just looks like a right-wing platform. I mean, so there still is bias on the app. It just switched sides. It just switched sides. And I do believe that that is what Trump is seeking to do to the media. Not make it free and fair and open, maybe perhaps limit some of the negative reporting of him and maybe increase some of the negativity focused around liberals. Remember, Trump doesn't address mistreatment with fairness. He addresses mistreatment with revenge. So if you're doing something wrong to him, his goal is not to correct it. His goal is to do that to you as a result. So he seeks revenge. He's not seeking to correct the wrong. He's seeking to repeat the wrong just in the opposite direction. So it is what it is. Tim, play this clip, YouTube, CBS News Max 2.6. 9 years ago, Trump makes questionable comments about young girls. I've already played many clips of Trump making questionable comments. Hell, even about his own daughter, saying he would be dating her if she was not his daughter. I mean, I don't think MAGA gives a shit about that. MAGA will just bring up that Biden's daughter's diary or allegedly shower with his daughter. I mean, MAGA don't care about the stuff that Trump has did that looks inappropriate. They'll just deflect to somebody else in politics that did something that they believe is equally appropriate. They do not care about that. I mean, Trump has done a lot of stuff on camera in regards to young underage girls that is inappropriate, and they surf over that shit like it's nothing. So I don't think there's any clips you can play that's gonna be. I mean, I don't even think if you played a clip of him actually engaging in sex with a young girl, I don't think it would matter in the eyes of most MAGA. First of all, they probably would just simply think the tape or the video they're watching is AI or something like that. If Trump says that video, I'm not the person featured in that video and somebody doctored it, there's nobody that can tell MAGA that Trump is lying and they're going to believe that person over Trump. So I don't think nothing's going to come out of the Epstein files that's going to hurt Trump in the eyes of MAGA anyway. I'll ask it again. I do this all the time, but I'll ask it again for shits and giggles here right now. If President Trump actually did something wrong, we're not saying he did, but I ask this all the time. If President Trump actually did commit a serious crime, and I ask this question to my beloved MAGA, I ask this all the time. If Trump committed a serious crime, actually did it, but was claiming he was innocent, who could tell you he was guilty and you would actually believe him? My answer is no one. I don't think if Trump is saying he didn't do it, they're going to believe he didn't do it. So having said that, I don't see anything that's going to come out of the Epstein stuff that's going to make one damn bit of difference. By the way, TikTok apparently is coming back up. I did file an appeal and it looks like it was successful. The only way that happens is people are making lies and reporting. So because there was nothing, Gaysta Grandma hasn't been on the program. I don't even think there was even much swearing on the program at that point. So so that wasn't even done from, because they do have artificial intelligence. So the apps do have AI. So they can detect certain words and phrases that may have been said. There was no reason for that, other than somebody probably making up some kind of lie on the program. But anyway, TikTok is back up. Okay, looking in the comments, if Trump did and proof he did harm a child, he should go to jail. Yeah, but nobody's going to believe the proof, Mr. Darcy. That's what I'm saying. No matter what proof you present, they're not going to believe the proof. They're not going to take the words of the victims. They're not going to take words of witnesses. They're not going to take rulings from judges. They're not going to accept charges from prosecutors. There's nobody that could tell you he did something wrong and people are going to believe it. That's what I'm saying. They would literally almost have to be in the room witnessing it while they were there. That's about the only way they would believe anything about Trump out of the Epstein list. They would have to literally be in the room witnessing him doing it to a child. Because there is no eyewitness, no governmental authority, no victim that's going to tell them Trump mistreated them and they're going to believe. I mean, you see what E. Jean Carroll, I mean, you had E.G. and Carroll suggesting Trump violated her. You had a jury hear the evidence and rule that Trump was civilly liable for doing it. You had a judge in that case. They didn't believe any of those people. So they didn't believe the judge. I mean, E.G. Carroll presented a witness that said at the time she told her about this. They didn't believe any of them people. So what do you think's going to happen on the Epstein file stuff? They're not going to believe none of the people. They're going to just say all of the people are lying and making it up. The victim is in it for a payday. The judge is some activist judge bought out by the liberals. The prosecutor is just trying to make a name for them. I mean, they're not going to believe any of them people. So like I said, I don't think anything is going to ever come out of the Epstein files that would ever hurt Trump at all. He's essentially Teflon Don, untouchable when it comes to that. In the comments, Jason says, is a long-time watcher and rise. Oh, I see that. Thank you for it. I don't know why TikTok is sending that, but we'll continue on to try to make the program work now and see how it goes. MAGA Reacts. Good evening. Welcome to the program. We had callers in there. A lot of folks got dropped because of that bullshit. But MAGA Reacts. Good evening.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much at all. Bullshit from the TikTok censors,
Yeah.
but Trump is.
We will believe you if you guys had some real evidence. Eugene Carroll didn't know when it happened. She didn't know the fucking year it happened. The person that she told the story to also said that Trump essayed her too. I mean, they had no evidence whatsoever.
But here's the problem
that she had in her possession for the last 30 years. I mean, this is nothing. Give me some real fucking evidence.
But here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. You don't believe folks who are against Trump when they don't have full evidence, but you believe Trump when he is against others and he don't have evidence on the 20. Wait, hold on. He don't have evidence on the 2020 election. You believe that? He don't have a bunch of evidence on that.
I have been on here 100 times telling you why I believe the 22 election was fishy. And not once did I say it because Trump said so.
No.
We've had this fight before.
No, he didn't. Do you believe?
I believe that election was fucked up.
He said he won by a landslide. Do you believe that?
No, I think it was a 1-point game. And I think if they investigated it, there's a huge chance that the 1 point isn't to Trump's favor. So if they fucking check the replay and they take away 2 points from fucking Biden, guess what? Trump wins by 1 point. So it's like I don't think he necessarily won, but if we go in there and find fraud, that could be the point. I mean, if you go in there and find fraud, it could take away a point.
Yeah, but you and I had this conversation. You already made it clear that if fraud happened in states, but it was not a close election, you're okay with ignoring that.
Because it doesn't change the winner. Yeah. It only changes the winner in the states where it's a 1-point game. And there was five states where it was a 1-point game. Georgia was basically a 1-point game. Pennsylvania was a 2-point game. Wisconsin was a 1-point game. Arizona was a 1-point game.
Here's the problem with that. And I mentioned this.
Fraud could change the winner in those states, and then Trump is the winner.
But here's the problem, and I mentioned this to you before, is that when you ignore fraud in states where the election is not close, you are basically leaving all sorts of other politicians on the lurch. You don't know if this. Hold on. You don't know if the Senate election. I mean, because all of them, when we voted for the president, we voted for Senate, Congress, librarians, and all kinds of other shit. So if there's fraud in that state, but it's not close at the presidential level, and you ignore it, you could also be costing people down ballot races. You chase all fraud. You don't ignore some of it.
I think that's where you always fuck up what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying to ignore it.
He did.
For the purpose of this conversation, for the sake of this conversation, it doesn't matter. But I want you to go after all fraud. I wish they would go after all fraud. The problem is the winner is the winner has to choose to go after the fraud. No. And if you won, you're not going to disprove your own fucking election.
Because Trump lost. And he spent his whole offseason talking about fraud. He didn't go after none of the fraud in those states that it wasn't close, as you say. He didn't care nothing about that.
He's looking into it now. Now that he's actually in charge, he's in fucking Fulton County.
I ain't heard him say I haven't heard him say nothing about North Carolina where he claimed it was fraud. I ain't heard him say nothing about that.
North Carolina, I mean, he's doing the FACE Act that should help with fraud in the future.
But he's. I'm talking about the fraud in the past. He's going in Fulton County. Why isn't he going in South Carolina? He said it was fraud there.
Listen, he needs to start somewhere, and he's starting where it really matters. And if he finds fraud in there, then we could look in the other places.
MAGA, let's address the reality. He won South Carolina. Hold on. He won North Carolina. He is never going to investigate that state from the 2020 election. He is. You can say you got to start somewhere. He will never go to a state that he claimed fraud was happening in, but he ended up winning because it could end up turning his win around. He's never going there.
North Carolina. You're the only one complaining about North Carolina. No one there cares that the elected. If there was a down ballot that came up and he's like, I think there was fraud in my shit, I'd be like, okay, but no one cares about North Carolina. You're the only one that brings it up because it helps your stupid argument.
Okay, you got to guess.
You know what?
Okay, hold on.
I threw 2 galaxies.
Okay, I didn't see the first one. Okay, remember.
So you owe me one. You owe me one.
I didn't see it. I'd have to look it up. But what?
Yeah, you blind as fucking hell.
Okay, speak your piece.
Okay, let me tell you something, you maggot. See, he won't come for your ugly ass, but I'm going to come for your ugly ass, okay?
I don't mind you coming.
No, that Carroll, that woman, she had proof. She had a dress and everything else with his little steaming up. Shut up. She had it, all right? She had it. But he wouldn't take the DNA. He would not take the DNA. He kept on fucking around with it, okay? So be quiet, okay? She had proof. She had proof that he did it to her. She had proof. The only reason why.
That's what his DNA could come from anywhere.
They already own you. They already own you.
What do you mean? If the dress was with the police for the last 35 years, I would be like, okay, they got something. But that dress came from anywhere. His DNA
that you would twist your...
It is his DNA. You guys are just like putting all your faith in it.
Let me tell you something. You know what? You would twist your ugly, so-called white trailer trash ass into a pretzel to kiss this man's ass. And he don't even like your ugly ass. You understand me? He don't like Egyptians. Remember this. You're not white. You're not white, Boogie. He doesn't like you.
Our law system and the way we've been doing it for the last 50 to 100 years.
Yeah, you like kissing that man's ass that grapes the little kids, right? Yeah, you're on top of it. The Epstein files, you're on top of them, aren't you?
You got some evidence?
He's all over this. He's all in the files.
I could call them right now and tell them your fucking name and that you and Epstein raped me and you would be in that fucking file.
No, he's all up in it.
All you have to do is make a
Why
call
is
to
it all of a
them
sudden?
and accuse him and he's on the file.
You know what, you little maggot? Did he not say he was going to release the files? Did he not say that, though?
Did he not
say that? He ran on it, did he not? He ran on it, did he not? He ran on it.
Did he not release a bunch of files? I thought that's how you know all
this shit. Wait, hold on, hang on. Maga reacts, do you believe that Trump has given off the indication that he wants to get to the bottom of what's in the Epstein files? Do you believe he's shown interest in making sure everybody gets justice?
No, but what did he say?
No, let him answer.
He wants to waste time on this.
Say what?
Because no matter what, you guys are not going to be satisfied. He released like 4 million files, and you're like, oh no, there's more.
Wait. You said you guys are never going to be satisfied. Do you think the Republicans are even satisfied? Is MAGA satisfied?
No. I mean, the people that care about it are not satisfied. I'll give you that. But
this is the shit right here that what he likes. This is why we won. We have ignorant mofos like him. You feel what I'm saying? Ignorant asses thinking he's going to be white so bad. He's kissing a white man's ass so bad. Thinking you think that this mofo like you. And he doesn't. Remember, you're Egyptian, honey. You're not white. You're never going to be at his table. This is one thing about it. Let me tell you something with you little maggots. You guys really think that he wants you at his table. You're never going to be at his table.
I don't care about my own table. I never gave a fuck about his table. This is just the dumb shit that you keep repeating.
You missed the whole fucking point. You don't even know what the... You're so brain dead, you're clueless, you don't even know what the
Why
fuck
would I
it
care
is.
about his table? I want to eat on my table.
Doesn't even get what he's saying.
As long
He
as
doesn't
the
even get the fuck I'm
economy
saying,
is
does
good.
he, Jim? That's how ignorant this motherfucker is. He doesn't even understand what the fuck I'm saying. That's
You're
why he
using
said he
some
likes the
shitty analogies
uneducated.
to tell me
He
about
likes
some
the
table that
uneducated.
were.
Hey, Tim,
What the fuck does that
do you
even
like my
mean?
new picture? Do you like my new picture, though, Tim? I look good, huh? I'm in my you know what I mean? AI got me good today, though.
Yeah,
Look at that.
where'd you
AI
download
got
it
me.
from?
You know, I
What
put a
did you
picture of
download it
myself
from?
on AI.
5 minutes.
No, I'm a dominatrix, and look what the fuck they did to me.
5 minutes, folks. Oh my God.
No, I'm being real.
It's a nice picture. It's a nice picture. Yes, it is a nice picture.
It's AI for real. It's AI. I mean, that's dominatrix right there. You know?
It's good AI. It's good AI.
Yeah, honey, I got my whips. I'm gonna whip this mofo. Let me tell you something. This mofo is so stupid. Like dumb.
Who is stupid? Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
Him. He's so stupid. He's doing a pretzel just to do anything. He is. Donald Trump.
It's called thinking about what is going on. You're asking something I've never heard before.
He got convicted in the grape trial with that woman. But
That's not a conviction.
It is a conviction. It is a conviction.
It's a civil. It's not a criminal conviction. It's civil liability.
It's not criminal.
It's not a criminal conviction.
Oh my God.
They chose to take money from a millionaire or a billionaire or whatever.
Oh my God.
And give it
You know
to her.
what? You know what?
What was at stake? You think if his life was at stake?
It's a silver case, and it is. It is just
They
as
had
you're
the choice
guilty.
whether to give her money or
You know what,
just let
dog?
her fuck off. They chose to take $5 million from a billionaire.
Okay, you fucking maggots voted for a rapist. You guys really did. You voted for you voted for a convict. You voted for a felon. You voted for somebody that said that they would not put us to war, and he said, well, at war. He said that he was what? Going to lower our gas and our rent. And what else did he say? What else did he say? Our groceries? Where's that at?
Gas was low
Where's
and
it at?
groceries
Where's
was
it at,
okay.
though? Where's it at, though?
Well,
Okay, so the war
Do you realize that we are in what? We're going
Biden
bankrupt?
spiked it for 3 years.
Oh,
Okay,
but you know what? I'd rather have.
in the
You
next
know what? Let
couple
me
of
tell you
months,
something.
then you're
That's how
right. But
ignorant
it's only
you
been 2
motherfuckers
weeks.
are. You know what? I'd rather have Biden's economy that we had money in our damn pockets. Our
We
gas
have 2
wasn't
years of
expensive
low
like this.
gas, and it spikes for like 2 weeks, and you're bitching.
It's not going. You know what? It's not going to go down for a while, sweetheart.
We'll
That's why
see.
you don't
Then
understand
you're
shit.
right, and then he'll lose the midterms. Okay?
He is losing. He is losing. You nut.
Okay. All right. Then we'll
Get
find
the
out.
cock out
You
your
have a
mouth.
time
You
machine?
nut. Like how fool is good.
Do your white toothless ass have a time machine that you know how the midterms are going to end up?
That's why he
Unless
likes
you have a time
Run,
machine,
Forrest,
shut the
run.
fuck up and wait
Run,
until the
Forrest,
midterms.
run.
Okay, wait, hold on. Now,
Run, Forrest, run.
what are you doing? A Forrest Gump impression?
What? Because he's like a Forrest Gump.
Well, he believes that Trump is a better leader than, say, Kamala or Biden.
You know what? I'll sell him a beach in New
inflation
Mexico.
for 3 years.
I'll sell him a beach in this Flood Rucker. I'll sell him
Biden
a beach
gave us
in New
inflation for
Mexico.
3 years.
Okay? That's what they got. That's what they got, the con man.
And you're like, oh my God, I can't believe gas is high for 2 weeks.
Gas is not good. Okay, you nut. You
Well,
Forrest Gump on crack.
8 months,
Let's break this down again. They're not going down.
2 minutes.
Going down. It's not going to go down, Pookie and Ray. You Uncle Ruckus. It's not going down. Ray.
But hold on, hang on. Gangsta Grandma, how do you respond to what he brought up, which is a legitimate point, that under Trump, gas prices were quite reasonable. They've only went up for about a month now, and the left is going crazy. It's only been about a month.
It's been 2 weeks.
Why is the gas going up? Nut. Come on, get the cock out your mouth.
Of war.
Why is it
because
going
of
up?
the fighting in the Middle East.
Why are we in the Middle East, you nut? Can't you comprehend?
There's about 20 reasons why
And
we're
a
there.
W-A-R, you nut. Like, you know what? Like, you guys are really special ed dropouts on God.
There's about 20
That's why the
reasons.
education system really fails.
5 of them
Your
suck.
mama.
The other
should
15 are
swallow
good.
you. I should never argue with somebody that should have been swallowed. And you are the definition of it. I should not argue was somebody that should have been
How
swallowed.
about you use your time
Oh,
machine
God.
to go back in time and swallow me then?
That's no bitch, honey. You're talking to your mama, bitch. Because I would never
Oh
swallow
my
nothing
God.
that you got.
I cannot believe you said that. Oh my God.
You feel that?
Wow.
Alright.
Wow.
Yeah, I got cold, yeah, bitch. I can't tell you.
Fucking.
All right, that's the time, folks. I'm moving on. Gangsta Grandma, thank you for coming through. So I got a few more minutes with you, MAGA React. So
We're only like 3.
here's what I disagree with you on, though, is the whole notion of the lack of proof against Trump, because unless you treating Trump, I mean, Trump says a lot of stuff about people without proof, man. He says a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but it's not putting him in jail. It's not,
Yeah, it is. He said Biden stole the election. He said stuff said Obama was born in Kenya. It ain't putting him in jail.
Those are accusations. That's not proof either. If I had the proof with the election, I would be telling you so.
Well, saying that he sexually assaulted E. Jean Carroll is not going to put him in jail. Just a civil suit.
I mean, that's the reason he probably lost it. They figured
he's even said liberals.
A billionaire.
Why
not just fucking give her the money?
He's even blamed liberals for the assassination attempt on him and the one on Charlie Kirk. That ain't based on proof.
They're at fault because how they demonized him. I mean, you call a person a Nazi long enough, people are gonna want to unalive them.
So if Trump said, wait, hold on. So wait, hold on. Trump said, so when Trump says Democrats hate America, you're going to say Trump is responsible for any Democrat that's killed? He demonizes them. He demonizes them.
He's saying it nonstop. He said it once, Tim.
Bullshit.
He's saying it every day, on every channel, on every TikTok.
You telling me Trump is only...
Can I scroll through that says Trump's a Nazi and MAGA's a Nazi?
You're telling me Trump has only demonized the Democrats one time?
To the point where he says they hate America or they're evil or whatever. To the point where you want to kill them? I mean...
Are you crazy?
Honestly, them being evil is not saying that they're Nazis.
That's your opinion. Not only that, but he said the media is the enemy of the country. He said that stuff plenty of times. He said that once.
Then how come no media people have been killed and barely Democrats have been killed?
According to you, because he demonizes them so much, if one of them does get killed, it's his fault, right?
I mean, if he demonizes them as much as they demonize him, calling him Nazi and shit, it depends how he does it.
What the hell?
There is acceptable demonization, and then there is the level where they demonize him.
What is in your opinion?
He's trying to take away your rights and put you in jail and trying to unalive everybody. I mean, you just heard her say it 5 minutes ago, how he's evil and how he wants to unalive me and I'm not all this shit.
In your opinion,
telling people that Trump wants to kill them and take away their rights.
I'm clueless here. I want to get your opinion on this. What is your opinion of? Give me your example of acceptable demonization. You said some of it is acceptable. Give me what you call acceptable demonization.
Just saying someone's gonna ruin the country, but ruining the country is one thing. Putting you in jail and take away all your freedoms and killing you and unaliving you and essaying you and shit. What? If you go to that level, saying that a person is that's bad. But just saying that they're going to ruin the country or they hate the country or they suck, just simple everyday shit is not going to...
Everyday shit. Is that what saying people hate America? That's everyday shit now.
Yeah, apparently. That's the word we're at right now.
Why did that become everyday shit?
Someone's going to take away your freedom and your rights and put you in jail and deport you and fuck up your life and all this shit you guys say Trump's gonna do. I mean, what hasn't Trump been fucking blamed for? Apparently he's gonna go to every one of our houses and deport us and fucking, essay our friends and our mothers and the children.
Army wanted it.
Demonize a single person. Holy shit.
Well, Army 1 2005 in the comments asked, do you smoke cigarettes backwards? Well, let me... Well, I know you don't smoke cigarettes backwards. That would be hell, but I'm just going to tell you...
I don't smoke anything at all.
Okay, it was funny.
That shit he's talking about.
That shit was
funny. I do have a little bit of acid reflux issue. That's maybe what he's hearing or what he's commenting on.
But I'm just going to tell you, you seem to have a issue where the demonization of the Democrats towards Trump is wrong and can cause grave consequences, but the demonization from Trump toward the Democrats is somehow, some way acceptable. I don't know where.
I mean, it's not equal, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it is equal. It's not equal in your opinion.
They have demonized Trump in every way possible. I just listed 20, 50 things how they demonized Trump. You've listed like 2. Tell me how the Democrats have been demonized other than saying they hate America and they're communists.
Well, first of all, I don't see how saying somebody hates America and they're communists is not a reason for somebody to act in itself. That's pretty fucking bad to say somebody is a...
I'm talking about amount. I mean, Trump gets demonized every day. Your whole life.
I mean, like you guys have said you guys have said Biden hates black people. You talked about, you suggested that both Biden and Kamala Harris is responsible for locking up a bunch of black people. You guys have said that they don't believe in God. They don't support the military. They've said plenty of shit.
That's not unaliving people. That's not essaying people. That's not all the stuff that you guys blame Trump for doing. That's not, I mean, Trump gets blamed for every evil there is in the world.
Give me an example of something Trump has got blamed for that you feel confident no Democrat got blamed for.
What do you mean? I just said it. He got blamed for essaying people. He got blamed for putting unaliving
Clinton
migrants.
You said
unaliving.
You guys said Hillary Clinton eating. You guys said Hillary Clinton was. Hold on. You said Hillary Clinton was eating children. Come on now. What are you talking about?
That was QAnon. That was not me. That was not even MAGA. That was just QAnon.
Really? What's the difference between Q and MAGA? At the polls.
I don't know. We don't care. I don't personally care about any of this fucking.
What is the difference between Q when it comes to an election? What is the difference between Q and MAGA?
I don't know what Q like exactly is. I don't know. Fucking
nothing.
I don't know.
There is no difference between Q and MAGA coming election. Nothing at all. They're voting for the same person.
I don't even know that. I think Q cares about all these secret pedophile rings and shit. Yeah. Where MAGA just cares about having a good economy and
it doesn't matter. They're voting for the same person.
And a closed border.
Okay. Some folks care about a closed border. Some folks don't want men and women sports, but they're still voting for the same guy. Q and MAGA coming election, they're voting for the same guy.
And again, you cannot say that Democrats get demonized as much as Trump. Trump gets demonized in every way there is. He basically fucked up our education, fucked up our economy, fucked up our peace, fucked up everything. I mean, he gets blamed for every little thing. Some shit gets erased off the website. Oh, it was Trump trying to erase Black history.
Name me a single Democrat that has lobbed more insults than Trump. He gets attacked because he's always attacking. No Democrat attacks like that. I mean, of course he's going to get more insults than anybody else. He lobs more insults than anybody else.
No, but he gets blamed for doing actual harm to people. I just said it. You guys blame him for saying he's trying to erase Black history.
Eating babies?
I mean, how many accusations?
Eating babies? Eating babies?
List of accusations.
Eating babies is what about the eating babies part?
Democrats, when I'm giving you like an unlimited list of the things you blame on Trump. I mean, if we make 2 lists, the Trump list is going to be a lot longer.
Yeah, but if you make a list, you say the insults to Trump, that list going to be much longer. If you have to make a list of Republicans lobbying insults at Democrats and Democrats lobbying insults at Republicans, Trump's going to be at the top of the list for the person who lobbed the most insults too. So he takes more insults, but he also delivers a lot of them.
Okay, but he doesn't demonize you guys like
bullshit. That's your opinion. To you, saying this about Trump is not as worse as no. You have an opinion. You have a personal opinion that the insults that are lobbed at Trump are worse than the ones he lobs at us. That's your opinion. Other people disagree with that.
No, that's fact. 90% of the coverage on Trump is like negative. And from this live alone, this whole live, like all your liberal fucking callers can call him a murderer and a fucking monster and a demon in every way possible. I mean, I could keep going with the list.
Like I said, your opinion. Trump is posting stuff about I'm glad people are dead and all kinds. To you, that ain't that bad. But to somebody else, it may be terrible.
I'm not saying it ain't that bad. I'm saying what you guys say is a lot worse.
In
You
your,
blame him for everything.
you just
everything.
you just said the same thing. It's not that bad, but it's a whole lot. You're basically saying a synonym of what I'm saying. You're saying the insults that Trump lobs are not as bad as the ones he receives. That's your opinion. You're entitled to that, but other people disagree with that.
But Trump's insults doesn't involve like you going. He doesn't say the Democrats are gonna fucking kill you all, because you make it sound like he's gonna kill all the T people and the LGBTQ and stuff.
What do you think he said about COVID? He did say the Democrats are going to take people out. He was saying it about the pandemic.
I don't know about all that.
Okay, well then you don't know about it, but he was saying it.
But the pandemic's done, and in the end, we didn't fucking riot and burn down the whole country. You guys did. So obviously someone demonized.
Can you tell me, give me the date when the whole country was on fire? Let me know so I can look back through it. What date can you go back to where the whole, you said burnt the whole country down?
Yeah, all those BLM fucking protests with fires in the background.
The whole country was on fire.
I mean, I'm fucking exaggerating a little bit.
Just a little bit. Out of all of the thousands of cities in America,
the country had fires burning fucking the state or the city they're in.
Out of all the thousands of cities in America, it was you probably only added a couple to them. You just exaggerating a little bit, right?
Protest on our side. We had two protests. We had J6 and that one in front of the courthouse.
You said
how many? Two versus thousands.
You said thousands of cities were on fire. Thousands of cities were on fire. Thousands of cities were on fire. You saying that, right?
No, I'm saying there were probably hundreds of cities.
Hundreds of cities were on fire.
I don't know the exact number, but basically a lot more happened on your side than us.
You watch it, and you
had two protests total.
Hundreds of cities were on fire.
We got two protests versus how many cars did we set on fire? How many cars did we set on fire January 6th?
Hundreds of cities were on fire.
Start in our two protests.
You went from the whole country to thousands to hundreds of cities. That statement alone removes all credibility you have. Are you saying
there was zero fires?
I don't even.
There was no fire.
It barely was in double. I'm answering it.
Before you can say it's the whole country.
It barely was even in the double digits that cities had fires in them. Maybe Minnesota, where George Floyd was at, Ferguson, Missouri, Baltimore. I mean, it's like a handful of towns. You don't expand it to the whole fucking country.
San Francisco, you forgot LA, you forgot pretty much any major city. Chicago had a car on fire.
Well, Where Kyle
Rittenhouse happened, they had a bunch of cars on fire.
You're grouping a bunch of different events and trying to make one. First of all, what happened in LA, for instance, some of that stuff is anti-ICE, some of it's Antifa, some of it's BLM, and you're just trying to group it all together.
I'm just talking about the BLM years. I forgot about
all of that ain't BLM. All that stuff you're naming is all of that ain't BLM related.
Exact number, but I bet it's really high.
No, it ain't.
I don't have an exact number of all the fires, but I bet it's really fucking high.
No, not only is it not high.
Protest with zero fires.
Not only is it not high, the towns that did have fires, most of that shit was contained to a block or two. And you make it sound like the whole town was burning down, like it was a Chicago fire or something. Most of that shit, like in LA, for instance. The people in LA was saying that if you came to this city and you didn't know where this was happening at, you would not even think it was happening. It's not like you can look off in the distance to see a bunch of smoke raising up. You guys made it sound like the whole town was on fire.
No, I said there was fires. That's all I said.
You mentioned Los Angeles.
In the case of Seattle, it was
you specifically said You specifically said Los Angeles. Los Angeles was. I asked you what cities.
They're not gonna make your point.
No.
You can play these word games all you want.
No, I asked you. You said Los Angeles was on fire. That is inaccurate.
Because of BLM.
You said Los Angeles
because of us or whoever is not BLM.
You said. You said everything from the whole country, thousands of cities, hundreds of cities. You mentioned Los Angeles. You don't say so many things that are not true. I don't know where else to go with it.
No, that's because you're fucking nitpicking. There were a lot of fires all across the country. I don't have the exact number. I don't have the exact percentage. I don't have fucking these stupid you're trying to play word games. It's like, oh, but you said the whole country.
Did you?
Well, yeah, but I meant like there was fires everywhere.
There was
okay,
not
that's what I meant. There fires everywhere. Happy?
Okay. Well, I gotta move it on. We'll talk about it in the future, but I want you to send me some links of all these cities that were on fire.
I can send you like 1,000.
You don't have 1,000.
At least 100 videos of different fires.
No, you gonna have
individual fires.
If you send me 100 videos of individual fires, many of them fires are gonna be in the same city. There's not even 100 cities that BLM had fires in. So
but still, there were a lot of fires, Tim, versus zero on our side.
No, your side is taking shit like a car's on fire and saying the whole city is on fire because of that car. That's what happened. Is that you're
now you're playing semantics. You know what I'm talking about?
That's not semantics. That's the facts. You said Los Angeles.
On fire. I said there was fires and looting in the protests.
You said Los Angeles was on fire. That is false. That is false.
There was a lot of cars on fire. There were a lot of places that were looted.
I gotta go. We'll leave it at that.
I'll make a video for you. Make a video for it. Okay.
Make the video. I'll cover it. Thanks for coming through. Moving on with the program. Evil Babu says, Tim asked, I just saw your comment. Unfortunately, Evil B by Boo, but he said you wanted me to ask MAGA Reacts how many spit ones does it take to turn Trump into a disappearing ghost? How many times can he slob on him? Oh my God! You sound like kind of like Dre. How many licks does it take before you make Dre start gushing a vanilla shake? Is that what you said, Evil? That is Evil, by the way. This caller smokes bed bugs. Damn. But listen, at the end of the day, before I continue back on with the show, what he says is actually common belief from the right. The right does believe that BLM set the whole country on fire. Or as he said, hundreds of cities were burning, or fires are burning all over America. The right does believe that. And I understand why. Because right-wing media did take it to overkill levels, such as what happened in Los Angeles last year was a good example where Trump sent in, was it the National Guard or ICE to defend a federal building? And they made it sound like Los Angeles was on fire. And it was a span of a couple blocks. Remember Chaz in Seattle, the whole Antifa thing some years ago? That was another one that Trump made it sound like the whole town of Seattle was under siege. It was like 5 or 6 blocks. In a city the size of Seattle, 5 or 6 blocks, unless you live on them, is virtually unnoticeable. Business, commerce, everything's moving back and forth. It's virtually unnoticeable unless you live on those 5 or 6 blocks. So while I'm not saying that BLM has not had chaos in some of the protests they're involved in, I can't help but point out that this stuff has been exploded to levels of insanity. I mean, because you hear him saying I'm playing word semantics by pushing back on his claim that thousands of cities were burning. I mean, he claims it was a mild exaggeration. I mean, that's like literally whatever the actual number of cities that were burning is. If you multiply it by 100, his number is higher than that. That's how far he took it. His number is going to be higher than that. If you multiply the actual number by 100, the number he's claiming is higher than that. But that's, to him, a mild exaggeration. Anyway, Tim, why do you have the same fucking color every time you take a caller? We don't have the same color. But let me just say it this way. Anybody that comes on TikTok, the handsome liberal, Instagram, the handsome, you want to be a different caller? You can be that caller. Come on over to the app. We'll bring you up. That's the way the show works. Come on up, put yourself in there. We'll give you time no matter what your politics is. That's how the program works. But I will say many of the folks that favor the program, they do call in often. But it's not that we don't take new callers. Understand that. It's not that we don't take new callers, such as Trump 2028. Was in the call box, but he dropped out. We'll continue on, but we'll go to Takesha. I think maybe this is a new Takesha because the old one wasn't going to be around for a while. Takesha, Welcome to the first time caller.
Look here, you bald head bastard. Listen.
Why I gotta be a bastard? I know who daddy
Shut
is.
up, Tim. Listen. First of all, you gave Mega Reacts a little too much time after him and Granny got through with their commentary. You gave him a whole nother 20 minutes.
Okay.
But anytime you back him in a corner, he always said, well, I don't know. Well, people that don't know just need to shut up. Go get your information before you come up here and spew all that foolishness. And then when Tim back you in the corner, it's always, well, I don't know. Well, shut up. If you don't know.
Well, he did say
Now,
thousands
whatever,
of
Tim,
cities.
but anyway, let me go and get through what I got to say because I ain't got time to play with you tonight. I find it strange that they want to still say that the 2020 election was stolen. The Republican Attorney General said there was no fraud. The governor, who's a Republican and Trump supporter, said there was no fraud. Them people did a hand count and everything to satisfy this man. And he's still saying there was fraud. But Elon Musk ran around all night from the reports we got, calling races that had not even been counted and saying Trump won. They ain't thinking about none of that, Tim. They don't care nothing about that, Tim. Because, see, when Trump win, it's a win. When he lose, it's fraud. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Let's go see what's went on with this election. Since Elon called it before any votes were counted, how did he know? How, Tim?
I don't have an answer for that.
Okay, I know you don't, Tim. Now let's get back to something else. Anytime there is trauma with a woman when it comes to being SA, she tends to forget stuff because they try to put it out their mind. The fact that she can't give the exact date does not mean that that lady is lying.
You're talking about E.G. and Carroll.
Yeah, you have not went through her trauma. So stop trying to dissect what happened to her. Get over it. He was held liable, and that's the end of that. Let's get on past that. MAGA reacts.
Well, that is one of the issues that you're rightfully pointing out, is that if Trump says something is not right, they do not accept judicial rulings. I mean, because the election and E.G. and Carroll, they believe the judges are all involved in it. They don't accept judicial rulings that are against
Tim,
Trump.
when they find out who their boy really is, there's going to be so many bridges full of people ready to jump off because they ain't going to be able to live knowing that he was not what they thought he was. But let me finish because I got two more things and then I'm going to get out your way.
Okay.
You keep having a conversation by yourself with the people of Iran. Them people got to keep coming out saying, we ain't talked to you. We ain't made no deal. They done made a, Tim, they got a video. You seen the video? It's so fast.
I haven't seen the video,
Man,
but
when I tell you I've been dancing off of it all day, Tim, I ain't no supporter of Iran. But when you hear Tim, your little feet gonna get to tapping and everything.
wait. So you're saying Iran has a video trolling the Trump administration?
Man, let me tell you something. That video so fat, Tim. It's a video. Listen.
Describe it. Describe what's in it.
It's propaganda, but it's some Lego figures, man. When I tell you, it's got it going on till your feet gonna tap it. Everything, Tim. It is fine. Them folks ain't talk to you. Them folks ain't even talking to you. You tell me them folks sent you a gift. You know them folks ain't sent you no gift, but you can't tell us what it is. Tim, them folks ain't sent no gift.
No,
you even tell me they gonna send you a gift. They ain't talking to you. Ain't no deal been made, but they gonna send you a gift. Trump, stop it.
Okay, is this the video? I'm gonna put it on the screen here. Does that look like the video? You said Lego figures. This must be another one because this is claiming it came from Iran as well. So apparently they got more than one.
That ain't the one, Tim.
Okay.
The other one is real good.
Thank you, shirt 14. Well, I gotta see it, and I'm gonna have to check it out.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let you go. They complained, telling some, okay, the gas was good when Trump got in, and then the war caused the gas to start, going up. But they ain't taking into account that after Biden got in, we were coming out of a pandemic, and OPEC deal ended, which caused gas to go up. I want them to have that same energy that they got for Donald Trump when they talk about Joe Biden, because what I'm sick of, Tim, is them acting like Trump is Muhammad Ali and Joe Biden was Leon Spinks, getting whooped down. I am so sick of these MAGA nuts around here acting like Donald Trump is this bad man, and he always bad guy, he always taco, he always lying. All he do is lie and insult people. If you don't like him, you get talked about. If you like him, you the greatest. Now, you done sat up here and say you were glad this man was deceased, but for Chuck Norris, he was a great guy. He was really one of my supporters. If you ain't for him, you ain't for him. Okay, that's when you get talked about. But if you like him, then you the greatest. Yeah. He need to grow up.
Well, MAGA likes that, though. MAGA likes that kind of stuff.
You know why they like it? Because they immature just like him.
The whole lot of them?
All of them.
I don't think
he's a toddler, and they give him a pacifier and a bottle every time they get a chance to give him one. Just get what I heard today. They said the reason he think that we winning is because all his administration showing him is what we're doing to them. They ain't showing what they doing to us. And I said they ought to quit treating that old man like that. They treat Trump like a nursing home patient who they don't want to know in a nursing home. They treat him like he at home and he in a nursing home. But that's why he think his poll numbers good too, because they keep on showing this man fake poll numbers. Just showing they ought to be ashamed of themselves for doing that old man.
Well, let's be clear. You see what happened with the guy that gave bad jobs reports in economic numbers. I mean, Trump he shoots messengers, so it makes sense to only give him good information. Yeah, he shoots messengers.
But that ain't good to be lying to the president like that, Tim. The man is old, and they using that to manipulate.
Well, let me just say this, because this story hasn't made a lot of news, but the U.S. Treasury today said that we are now insolvent. I mean, so in other words, America's headed toward bankruptcy. If
Trump don't bankrupt it ain't right, Tim. He the bankrupt king. So he just doing what he used to do. He probably said, look at him. I ain't bankrupting that in a long time. Let me go and bankrupt America so I can get the feeling good. Yeah, he the bankrupt king. Yeah.
Well, the guy got 2.5 years left. Things may get much better. You got to give him time.
Till we're going to be filing chapter 7 tomorrow. We're going to file chapter 7 and 13 tomorrow, Till. The United States going to file bankruptcy, Till. I can't take it no more. I just can't take it, Till. I'm doing the best I can, Till. This is getting out of control, Till. Till, file chapter 13, because if the U.S. can file it, we can too, Till.
This would be funny if it wasn't likely to affect us in a very negative way for a long time. So I'm hoping you're wrong. I'm hoping you're wrong.
Tim, this is what they voted for. They get what they voted for.
No, they voted to get rid of Biden's poor economy. Remember all the I did that stickers at the gas pump of Biden?
Right. They made some for Trump now.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen them all. Yeah, I've seen them.
And I know they mad about that, but why would you be mad? It's the same thing y'all did to Biden.
I hate it, though, Takesha. I hate it.
Y'all said eggs was too high. Now hamburger high, gas high, your light bill high, your gas bill high, and the excuse y'all giving us is a little pain for a long-term gain. Yeah. Baby, bye. Stop the foolishness. You know you around here, you can't even buy no Ziggler bologna. You got to buy Bar S. You around here got to buy Great Value because you can't get nothing that say Hidden Valley. You got to buy the Great Value ranch dressing because Hidden Valley too high for you. Stop it. Y'all struggling just like we struggling. Stop acting like your president ain't screwing you over too. You have a great day, Tim.
All right, Takesha. Welcome back. Good to have you on. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Moving on with the program. Real quick, Evil B. Babu said, why did you cut me out? How did I cut you out? I didn't cut you out. I was waiting in line, Tim. You passed me up. You don't go by the name you do here. That's why I don't know. I don't see you. You must go by a different name. You said, or TikTok went down. That ain't fair. But yeah, I didn't take you out. TikTok did go down, and we had to file an appeal, and we were down for a few minutes. So that's what actually happened. I'm going to have to shine that bald head of yours. Evil. That is your name. B by Boo. Appreciate it. And in the comments, y'all says, Tim, I also think that MAGA reacts cannot handle gangsta grandma. Shit, who can handle gangsta grandma? I think it's even worse. MAGA reacts can't even handle Carolyn Levitt. And she got caught today doing her news report. She couldn't even get the facts right. Lakeisha is right. Evil. Man, thank you. Wow. That ain't evil. That's very generous of you. But look, Carolyn Levitt, whatever, however you pronounce her name, she kind of reminds me of Sarah Huckabee Sanders. At the end of the day, they're going to say what is favorable to the Trump administration. What was her name? Janine St. Pierre, the black woman that was doing it for Biden. She was trying to defend Biden on some things, but I think that Carolyn Levitt and Sarah Huckabee Sanders were just better at doing it. Even Sean Spicer, when he was questioned about Trump claiming his inauguration crowd was bigger than the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech, they just defend the president. Now, under Biden, Karine, whatever her name is, she didn't have to defend these colossal lies like that. But, but Biden's health and things like that was something she had to continue to pretend like Biden was 100% healthy when folks could see Biden was in decline. So she did defend some things that were questionable, but Trump says so many wild things. And because he talks so often, that I've seen both Carolyn Levitt and Sarah Huckabee Sanders defending something controversial Trump was saying, while Trump was actually on social media saying more shit that was collapsing the defense they gave for him. So that job is not easy. I cannot imagine having that job where you literally got to say stuff that you know is not true. Your job is just to defend the president. You know some of that stuff is not true. And Carolyn Levitt, for such a young woman, she does somewhat of a good job. I mean, Trump is not an easy person to be a spokesperson for. He's just not. It's not like he's going to take advice. It's not like you can tell him anything. He's not an easy person to be a spokesperson for. So for a woman that age, I think she's 28 or something like that. That's a big job. Mr. Realistic says Democrats cheated as they only needed to rig 1 or 2 states and not all 50. Forget that distraction. Controlling Carg Island does matter. Is it dangerous to control 90% of the world's oil? Well, first of all, let me break yours. And thank you, Mr. Realistic, for your input. Let me break. You said 3 things, and I'll go to the box shortly. Get us up to 50,000. You guys can make that happen on TikTok. Let your thumbs not be lazy. And I will solicit those on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, smash that like button. It helps out the algorithm. I haven't asked you guys to do that, but recently, but I'm asking now. Smash that like button. Help get the likes up on the program, if you will. But in regards to the claim that Democrats cheated as they only needed to rig 1 or 2 states and not all 50. Here's the problem I have with this. When Obama was ending his presidency in 2016, Trump won over Hillary Clinton. No complaints whatsoever from Trump that election was not free and fair. When Biden was ending his presidency in 2024, Trump won over Kamala Harris. Once again, no complaints from Trump about that election at all. The only election he complains about is the one that he was in office and controlling the country during. So the idea that he was in control of everything and somehow the Democrats stole the election while he was president, the right was controlling the country, but they all decided to let a free and fair election happen when the left were in control. That don't make sense to me. If the Democrats are cheaters, why the hell wouldn't they do it when Obama or Biden was president? But yet when he's president, they somehow now have the ability to do so? That don't make sense. That part right there doesn't make sense. And then, of course, we can go into the Tucker Carlsons. We can go into the My Pillow guy, Larry. What is the guy? I can't think of the guy's name right now. But anyway, the My Pillow guy. All of the folks on the right that said things about that election that turned out to be false. Some of them, Mike Lindell is, I think, the guy I'm thinking about. Some of the things they said were so false they had to pay lawsuits and shit like that. The 2000 Mules guy, Dinesh D'Souza, where his studio had to apologize and say that what he said was not based on any reality. I don't understand how you can only see Democrat issues when there's so much problems on the right. Folks pleading guilty on the right for being fake electors. None of that matter. You can only see Democrats cheating. I mean, these people are pleading guilty to it. So I'm just going to say it like this. If you believe the Democrats cheated, then you should be in the camp of saying that both sides were cheating in the 2020 election, because Republicans have pleaded guilty to it. They actually pled guilty to it. They've been caught. So there's no way to say only one side did it when the other side don't plead guilty to it. So if you absolutely believe what Trump is saying, then at the very least, you got to say that both sides are doing it. But if you're on the right and all you believe, you believe 100% of the cheating was all Democrats, then you're just blind, because you're excluding all of the stuff that they don't opt and admitted to. You're just blind. Yeah, based on the fact that so many of them admitted they were cheating, there's no way possible to say that Trump won and the Democrats cheated when the other side is admitting they did it too. That was the first thing you said. So the whole rigging thing makes no sense based on that. And then, of course, you got to show how they rigged the elections, how they rigged the recounts, how they rigged the governors, and they convinced all the Republican senators, all the Republican Congress to say that the Democrats won, how they convinced Mike Pence to say that the Democrats won. None of that stuff makes any sense. We got one man saying the Democrats cheated, and for the most part, the whole of his party, the entire remainder of his party in Washington, Republican Senate, Republican Congress, Republican governors, all of them are saying that one man is wrong, with the exception of maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, and Bobart. All of the rest of them say Trump lost that election. Why would they do that? Why would the whole of the Republican Party, including his vice president, say he lost if he had actually won? We're believing one man over the rest of the whole. This is why I say, in regards to President Trump, nobody can tell you he done something wrong if he's saying he didn't. We're taking his word. A guy who has no access to the elections, no access to polling places. He wasn't around in any of that shit. He's sitting around watching the results come in on TV. We're believing his word over the people who were actually running the elections. The governors, and we believe in him over all these other people that actually had actual access. That don't make sense to me. I'm just saying it. And not to mention people who actually would have benefited from him winning that election. Mike Pence would have benefited if Trump had won. He would have been VP for another 4 years. Why would he lie and say he lost? And real quick, Mr. Realistic said, forget that distraction. Controlling Carg Island does matter. Is it? It absolutely matters to control Carg Island, but you're going to take a whole lot of casualties doing that. Because that island is just sitting there. I mean, they can lob all kinds of shit from the Iranian, the sovereign country of Iran to that island. Not to mention, you got to assume at this point, because Trump is televising all of his moves, they probably booby-trapped the shit out of Carg Island. They probably, look, if I can't have it, fuck it, nobody will. That whole island may just fucking go up. So understand, if you take that island, there's gonna be a lot of casualties. Those opening paratroopers that land there, a lot of them ain't coming back. If they take Carg Island, that first wave, a lot of them are not coming back. Also, this says he will be about also that, Tim, did you know that the Democrats turned the state of Florida blue? And also that woman is from, I know the woman down there in Mar-a-Lago, but the state hasn't turned blue yet. The governor is still DeSantis, right? So it hasn't, but I do know that the elections all seem to be leaning blue. So it does look like that could be in the cards going forward. Straight talk. Good evening.
Hey, what's up? So let me share with you why people believe that. Can I do that?
Sure. I kind of know, but go ahead.
No, about the BLM. I want to tell you exactly why people believe that.
I kind of know that too, but go ahead.
I have a Google, and I typed in how many cities were BLM riots. And look at that. It says 2,000 cities. 2,000 cities around the world, 60 countries rioted in support of the BLM riots. And so
hold on,
Tim, hold on. When you dig into those numbers a little bit.
Hold on. What did you type? I want to Google it with you. What did you type in?
Type in how many cities were BLM riots.
Because I'm dying to see what source told you that. Oh, I see it. AI says protests quickly spread nationwide over 2,000 cities and towns in over 60 countries in support of BLM. So, yeah, AI, go ahead.
And then go down a little bit. You can read the Wikipedia about those. You can also ask further questions about that. But I'm just explaining to you why
you do know
what it is they believe.
You do know. Wait, I agree with you if they're getting this, but you do know Wikipedia could be edited by anybody. I mean,
100%.
Yeah, anybody.
That's why you want to go down to New York Times. You want to go down to the Guardian. You want to go down. Listen. It is even worse. The Guardian lists all the cities in the U.S. and it ain't pretty.
And I will say this.
Hold on. You got to take it easier on people because look, all you got to do is look one simple phrase. I didn't even make a complete sentence, and it tells you straight to your face that there were 2,000, so they make it seem.
But you gotta understand. He didn't say riots. He said cities were burning to the ground. A riot don't mean the city burned to the ground. 2,000 cities didn't burn.
You didn't read. Yeah, you didn't keep reading. All I'm saying is, if you'll go ahead and keep reading on your own time, you don't have to take my time to do it.
Okay.
Go ahead and read on your own time. It definitely gives you the flavor and the impression that it was what it was. I mean, I don't think the impact of all that has even reached you and I, because the minute he said that, I was shocked myself.
Yeah.
But I went ahead and took that extra step. You see what I'm saying?
And I'm fine with that, and I appreciate you doing it. I'd have to look into it in detail because a few things. I mean,
let's not make fun of somebody because they were.
He said the whole country was burning to the ground.
Hold on. Before you get all twisted, I am talking to your audience. Let's not all go crazy and start making fun of somebody who, look, I don't think he was lying. I think that he was given information, and now you all have been given information.
Yeah.
Now, let's get back to the...
Hold on, but I want to say, we'll get back to it, but I do want to say a couple things. First of all, like I said, your Google search talks about riots versus towns burning to the ground. So that's a huge difference. Second thing I'd have to point out is, a riot can be 10 people arguing with police or 10,000. So it's because I know how we portrayed everything.
No, they covered that. It says protests quickly spread.
Yeah.
So they cover that. The 2,000 protests. They don't talk about places burning. Again, you'll have to scroll down and find out how many fires were set, how much damage was done. All I pointed out was the reason he said that was because when you do the most cursory challenge, just type in how many cities. It tells you that 2,000 cities were.
I can tell you. Yeah, I can tell you straight talk. Me and you could walk down the street, throw a Molotov cocktail through a window, and yell BLM, and the next day it's gonna say BLM burns down store. It just can be, and we don't even have to. We don't even have to be BLM. We could just be wanting to deface the group. I mean, it don't. So this information.
Hyperbole. You've been introduced to hyperbole.
Yeah, this information tells you nothing.
Hyperbole. It's not a lie. It's true. But you know what? Taken out of context, just like you said, taken out of context, it can mean something totally different.
Yeah.
Now, let me help you out here, okay? You want to catch Iran by surprise. So you tell them you're sending the 82nd Airborne. So they got their head craning up, looking up in the sky all the time, waiting for those parachutes to open because they know it's going to be a bad day. It's going to be a bad day when them boots start hitting the ground, okay? I want to point something out to you. And this I noticed last night. I noticed last night that when the president says who he spoke to or who we're dealing with, that's who, and he says that we're dealing with certain people, All of a sudden, the press rushes out and claims they have sources in Iran saying that those talks aren't happening.
Well, first of all, he didn't point out who he talked to. He said he talking to.
Yes, he did.
He gave a name.
Yes, he told, but he's not saying. Listen, you've taken out the top 4 layers of the leadership in Iran.
Okay.
He's telling you, I'm talking to the appropriate people. The BBC. The Reuters, all of these other people refuse to tell you who their sources are. They don't say.
I haven't heard Trump give his sources. You said he gave a name. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I have heard him give the name. I have also heard, and by the way, you're not letting me finish. Let me finish this. There's a very easy way to find out who's telling the truth. You want to know what it is?
Tell me.
The reality. What happens? What happens? So if you're lying and say he wasn't talking to anybody and miraculously the strait opens up, Carga Island gets cleaned up, obviously the president was talking to somebody.
Yeah,
right?
but if he says the war is already won, and then all of a sudden, hang on, let me rebut now. Because you're right. Pay attention to what's happening, not what's being said. If he says the war is already won, and then all of a sudden they're asking for $200 billion and sending paratroopers over.
That's not what that's for.
That's your opinion. You don't know that.
I know what it's for.
How do you know? You got Pentagon access?
Let me tell you what it's for, and then you tell me if it makes sense. How about that? Is that fair?
Sure. Give me your opinion.
Okay. We have dropped 8,000 bombs on Iran over the course of the last month or so?
Okay.
Those all come at a cost and must be replaced, don't they?
Okay.
They came from somewhere.
That ain't what Hegseth said, though, straight talk. He said killing people costs money. He made it sound like what we're doing right now is costing us. He didn't say we need to replace anything.
That is what he said. He's telling you, hey, I just emptied out that warehouse over yonder, and there isn't another missile in there. We need to replace them.
That's how
he told you.
That's how you took it. The way I took it. Hold on. I'm just telling you.
You got to replace a bullet.
I'm not hearing replacing. I'm hearing that we still killing people. We need some more money to continue. Killing people costs money.
I think we could go on for another few months, honestly.
So in other words, the $200 million is only to replace. So we're done bombing. We just want to replace what we used.
Oh, no. I don't think we're done bombing. But I also think that we have bombed enough. And someone just paid to come and talk to me, and I would appreciate it if you would bring them up. But I think that we need to replace what we've used.
I don't think he's in there. Go ahead. It was Fuzzard. I don't see Fuzzard in there. Go ahead. Keep going.
All right. But what I'm saying to you is we are at some point going to need to replace all of that ordnance that we just dropped off with Iran. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
I get that, but that ain't what I have not heard Trump, Hegseth, or any of them say.
I know, because
the money is to replace. No, well,
you want to hear bad.
I want to hear clarity. I don't want to hear bad. I want to hear clarity. Okay. If the money is hold on. If the money is,
does not make sense.
No, what I'm saying makes sense too. We still got more bombs to drop.
What did what I just say to you? Could it be interpreted?
Yeah.
Okay.
I say clarity. That's why I said clarity.
That's what I think. I think that Pete Hegseth came out and said, hey, guess what? We're going to need to replace. I'm going to need money because we need to replace what I just used whooping up on Iran.
But that's the problem, is that when Trump says things, you got to look at it like the Bible. He might mean this. The passage might mean that.
I speak Trump. I'm free to interpret Trump for you anytime you want to hear. Not a problem.
Okay.
I know y'all have trouble comprehending because you hate that man so
much. Let me just say it like this. When you get on television, and say the war was won in the first few days, to me, that doesn't need interpreting. That sounds clear. It's over with. That sounds like it's over with.
You think because I said I won the war, you think that means I'm coming home, no more, that's it. That's not true. They have not capitulated yet. And by the way, can I just tell you, here's why it's not a war. Do you want to know why it's not a war? I did this for you too.
Give me your reason why it's not a war, because I'm gonna look up.
No, it's not my reason, Tim.
Give me your reason.
I am giving you. Listen, Iran is is engaged in a highly asymmetrical, limited conflict rather than a conventional full-scale war, because both sides are navigating very high risks, and Congress has not approved a war. Congress must approve a war. There are levels to this shit.
Let me tell you something. When you look up the definition of war, it says nothing about Congress or boots on the ground. A war is a war. America doesn't write the definition of what a war is. A war is what we're doing is a war.
No, sir. No, sir. Let's look up the definition of war.
I'm looking right at it now. A state of armed conflict between two nations or states or different groups within a nation or state. That's the definition on Google.
What's the next sentence?
Engage in war.
No, the next not on mine. Japan declared war on Germany.
Yeah.
You engage in war. What I'm saying is the wars are declared.
No, it does not. No, a war. What are you telling me? So you could do everything that involves a war, but as long as it ain't declared, it's not a war.
Yes. No. Listen. You can say I am a licensed driver, and am I to assume that you can drive an 18-wheeler? No. You need to have a CDL in order to do that. It's another level of driving. And then you say, okay, well, I got my CDL. I'm going to drive this tanker full of gasoline. I say, no, you need to have a sticker on your CDL that allows you to carry hazardous materials. So you understand now? There's levels.
No, there is no levels to it. You're making me dizzy. But Fuzzer, you have a yes, damn right we're at war, and that's what history is going to say. You got to guess. Fuzzer, good evening.
Hey, Tim, good to talk to you. So, Mr. Pretzel, man down there, you got to understand. There's two sides to every conflict. In this conflict, there's three sides. Tell Israel that we're not at war, and tell Iran that we're not at war right now. Tell them we're not at war. Just because
Israel may have declared war. I'm not sure.
I paid a fucking gallon. You gotta listen for a second.
Israel may be at war.
Our Congress, just because our Congress did not approve of this yet, has not signed on to it yet, and has not given $200 billion yet, does not mean we're not at war. The other two people involved, the other two parties, are kind of saying differently than what Donald Trump is. Now, Donald Trump says, we're done, we're going to leave. Iran might not agree.
Right.
They might just keep bombing the shit out of us.
Have they bombed us?
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
According to you guys, they have. They've struck our bases. They've hit everything around us. Yeah. According to you guys, they have attacked us on our homeland. So what are you saying?
Who said that they attacked us on our homeland?
That's Donald Trump's excuse for going in.
No. He was asking you, could we prevent them from doing that? And listen, let me explain something to you guys. One of the reasons we're doing this, we have a missile defense. The United States is protected by a missile defense, but our allies and Iran's neighbors are not protected by that missile defense. They are at risk, a great deal of risk, and we would like if we could mitigate that risk for all of them. Is that cool?
What's the missile defense in Kuwait? Where's our missile defense there?
We have Patriot batteries all over Kuwait, sir.
Really? So that's why we got struck there? That's why our bunker got struck with killing 6?
Well, it's not 100%. I lost 18 of my friends in a Scud missile. Hold on, sir. I lost 18 of my friends in a Scud missile that was shot down by a Patriot, and the warhead hit our barracks.
You know who else was killed? You know who else was killed by a Patriot missile? Was a school of 170 girls.
That was a Tomahawk, sir. That was a Tomahawk.
I'm sorry.
I would like for you to at least come up.
My bad for miswording.
You wasted your money, bub.
Let him talk.
Did that. Go ahead, Tim.
Our Tomahawk, yes.
Yeah. We blew up a schoolhouse of little girls.
It appears so.
Yeah, we should be doing that stuff. Now, why are we there?
Do you think we did it? Hold on, Fuzzer. Do you think we did that on purpose? Hold on.
I'm not saying I didn't say that.
Do you think that President Trump had the military target an elementary school?
We meant to hit that building. Now, if we knew or not it was elementary school, I don't know. But you
think it's a possibility that the President of the United States, Donald Trump, targeted an elementary school full of Iranian children.
I do.
I said we targeted.
You do.
I do. Yeah, I do. At the
I
scene.
100% know we hit that building intentionally. Now, whether the intelligence said who was in there, I'm kind of with Tim. I think we knew who was in there.
I'll just tell you this. When they're suggesting that we blew up a Venezuelan drug boat and then there were survivors hanging onto the wreckage and we killed them again, yeah, we're capable of some foul shit. At that point, the cargo is destroyed. The people are helpless at sea. There's no threat to anybody. To just come, that's a war crime. If you took out a submarine from a destroyer and the people were dangling in the water, you can't just strafe them. So, yeah, we're capable of some foul shit. They admit they did that.
And you think that extends all the way to kindergarten and elementary school children?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to take this one more theory further. I am going to say, and I've said it out loud, that poor little kid that 20-year-old kid in Butler, just sacrifice. And that firefighter in the background of that fire was collateral. That kid
trying to get you taken down, dude.
Wait. What story is he talking about? Butler.
He's trying to get you taken
Butler,
down.
Pennsylvania? Or you go?
Take him down with friends. I'm trying to say.
I think you are. Tim, I'm telling you right now.
I'm friends with Tim. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, I'm just letting.
All right, I know the story he's talking about. We won't go too deep in the story, but what he is suggesting.
I'm telling you that Butler was set up. That Donald Trump sacrificed that kid, and that firefighter was collateral damage. I'm saying that 100%.
All right, we'll leave it at that. That's a hell of a story, but we'll leave it at that. But anyway, in regards to what I was saying about the Venezuelan drug boats, yeah, if you do that to an adult, do I supposed to believe you'll stop at kids when you don't even want to give justice to the Epstein people? No, I believe if you're willing to blow them folks up in a boat like that, I don't think a school would be off limits to you. I just don't.
Right, I agree. I mean, there were 2 boats of survivors. They have all been released back to their homelands without holding them hostage. There's been 2. One were fishermen from Colombia, and the other one were from.
So we did take people and arrest people that were on the.
We didn't arrest. No,
How did we get them, Bud?
People and release them back to their home.
How did we release them? Where did they come from?
One was from Colombia, and
how were they picked up?
We rescued them. Oh no, I think they escaped and were able to make it back.
Yeah. Okay.
They were fishermen.
They were rescued.
You're not going to let me answer, are you?
No. I'm just trying to clear it up. You're being very confusing here.
There were fishermen from Colombia, and there were fishermen from what's the island?
I don't know about the island, but I do know the president of Colombia spoke out and complained, and Trump indicated if you don't shut up, you're going to be next in regards to Maduro. He threatened them, and they're actually going after the president of Colombia now. They call him a high-value target. The DEA is trying to go after him for drug crimes. So Trump is indicating they're going. So
that's what we do. That's what we do.
We don't go after heads of state. No, we don't.
When they're cartel members, ask Maduro if we do that.
We have never.
Maduro.
You think
ask
that
Maduro if we go after cartel members?
We don't go after heads of state. We've all.
Those that are accused of being in a cartel, guess what? New sheriff. We 100% obviously do.
I think
it's a violation.
Yeah, I get it.
You did.
Yeah, I'll move it on, Fuzzer. But thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate the money.
He had nothing to do with it. I appreciate him coming in. Thanks, Fuzzer. Anyway, but as I was saying, we don't. I think you said the right phrase after I said we don't go after heads. Hold on. I think you said the right phrase after what I said about we don't go after heads of states. You said new sheriff in town. So no, it ain't that we do this. It's just he changing rules.
No. I'm telling you now. We have done. Are you serious?
Give me some examples.
We didn't go after Gaddafi. We didn't go after. I mean, how many heads of state do you want me to list that we went after, targeted, and ended up bringing to justice?
We didn't.
Marcos ring a bell to you?
No, we went after Gaddafi. His own people.
You know who Ferdinand Marcos is? Isn't he still in prison in Florida? He was the head of a state.
For
Stop! Just stop
we don't
with
go
your
after heads of state. We don't go after. We don't just kill them.
We don't go all. We listen. Look, we not only do we do it regularly, and we don't necessarily unalive them for TikTok purposes. Sometimes we go in and snatch them out of their beds and bring them to us in their pajamas. Sometimes we do when that's possible. But most of the time, the United States has a long and wonderful history of taking these punks off the throne of power and bringing them to justice. That's one of the things I love about this.
And that's one of the reasons we keep having tea events. And most of our NATO member allies ain't complaining about terrorism.
I'm okay with that. I am 100% okay with all the bad people in the world want to blow up. They will get the hammer of justice. I'm cool.
So wait. So you're okay with America playing the world's police and the casualties that we take because people want to take us out? You're okay with all that?
The United States of America is a leader. And the reason that we are the leader is because no one else will do it. Someone has to lead. You think Xi Jinping is going to do it? No.
Here's why I gotta.
You think that Vladimir Putin is going to do it?
That's ridiculous.
No.
Here's why I disagree with it. First of all, America is playing the world's police not for the purpose of world harmony. We're playing the world's police because we are on the take. So we're essentially
for our interests.
We're crooked cops. We're crooked cops.
Barack Obama on the take when he ordered SEAL Team 6 to march their asses over and snatch up Osama bin Laden? What did we get for that?
Well,
you tell me.
No, that's meting out justice.
Yeah,
that's justice.
Good job, huh? Everyone agrees with you. There's not one person in
Hold
this country.
on. Here's the difference. Barack Obama taking out Osama bin Laden versus Trump talking about taking Greenland. One of them is you're actually meting out justice. Another one is you're just on the take.
What are you talking about?
The world's police.
You said it yourself just the other day. We had every right to what we asked for. We have a treaty.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. We do.
No, we don't.
We have a 1953 agreement signed with Greenland and Denmark agreeing to us providing security for Greenland. We absolutely
what do they get? So if they decide we no longer want your security, what are we going to tell them? No, we're going to stay here anyway?
Well, they can break the treaty. They can, and we would probably go home.
Bullshit.
Probably.
You think Trump would go?
Hold on. Provide. We've done it before. We have unasked AOs before. We 100% have done that. We did it with Germany. We reduced our force in Germany by almost 2/3. So when Germany started asking us to leave, and they got their countries were what's the word I'm looking for? Reunited. When the East and West Germany reunited, they decided that they did not want the United States bases there as heavy anymore. And what did we do? My own barracks.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. If we continue along the lines of what President Trump is doing, a lot of countries are going to tell us to leave. I got to move it on straight talk, but if this continues where we're treating everybody like shit as a whole, threatening all of NATO, threatening Canada and Greenland. Now we're talking about Cuba and Colombia. And our allies are going to tell us to go home. That is going to happen.
You got to buy your friends. I don't like buying my friends. I understand you have got to have friends and so you're going to pay them. I get it. I am not like that.
I don't think we're going to have friends, period. I think if we continue down the road of Trump, it ain't about buying your friends. We're just not going to have any friends, period.
Oh, believe me, when we open that wallet again, they'll all come running telling us how good the friends are.
I don't know if you realize it or not, but Trump is taking
Canada and Mexico are numero uno.
I don't know if you realize it or not, but under Trump, the money in that wallet is getting kind of thin. There ain't a lot of money in that wallet you're talking about. Have you noticed the economy and shit?
Man, you guys love to twist news stories. I swear to God, man, it is. I looked into the insolvency issue you guys are talking about, and you and I will have to have another discussion. Hey, by the way, I really do want to talk to you.
Because I have a very good idea, and I think that you are going.
We'll holler on that. I'll keep that off the end, but we'll talk about it.
And listen, there are a number of people that are in here regularly that agree with me today. I had a chance to explain some of that.
Fair enough. Straight talk.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Thanks for coming through. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Real quick in the comments, somebody and I see Alex, is that Alex ED or EDF23 says host. We did go after Noriega, USA as but Noriega, was he the head of state down there? I remember Noriega. Yeah, I do remember that. I don't know. To me, I thought we under the Ford administration signed into an agreement that we were no longer going to assassinate heads of state. And now we don't took out all of the heads of state in Iran. I thought we had said we were going to stop doing that. Now, if you're talking about bringing them to justice, that's one thing, but just killing them? What we did in Iran, I thought we had agreed not to do that. Now, he mentioned Gaddafi, my last caller. Of course, Saddam Hussein lost his life, but we handed them over to their own people and had them do it. In other words, I can't kill you here. I'm gonna hand it, my friend over here can do it. Oh, my friend killed this guy. That's what we use. Now doing it ourselves. I don't know. I thought we had signed into an agreement under Ford administration not to do that. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. This fellow, woo, take your blood pressure, man, says Diane. Good evening, Diane. The big time drug dealer, Panama Canal. Was Noriega in charge of that? Was he the actual president of Panama? Barry says, yeah, okay. Can you tell me how better off we were with Joe Biden administration? We weren't at war. I think that's significantly better. We were not at war under Joe Biden. Economically, we're not even doing, you don't hear Trump bragging about how much cheaper groceries are or how much cheaper shit is under Trump. I mean, but we were not at war under Biden. So I think that is big. Not only the war, but the fact of how much it's costing us. Those type of expenses were not being doled out under Biden. So at this point, I gotta say we were better from that aspect at least. And let me just say it this way. What has improved since Trump became president? Border security. Many folks are going to point to boys ain't in women's sports. Obviously, that don't affect anybody. But I would say border security and our immigration policies are probably what many folks would say improved under Trump. Other than that, what else has improved since Trump became president from Biden? Okay, he's not sleepy. He's awake, if you want to say. But what has improved on behalf of the country, on behalf of the American people? What has gotten better? I'd love to hear your opinions on what has improved. Because if I could think of them, I would say it. I would give Trump credit, but give me what has improved in America that affects most people since Trump became president. We all hate each other significantly more. That hasn't gotten better. Now we're at war. That hasn't gotten better. What's getting better? Tell me. Help me out. Tax policies. Really? Tim, you haven't seen Donald Trump sleeping in the middle of very, very important meetings. What are you talking about, dude? Actually, that's not true, Tanaj. Go on YouTube. Trump has been caught sleeping in the middle of important meetings since he became president. That actually is no longer true. He actually has been seen sleeping. It's just it's what I always say too, by the way. It behooves you to get your media from sources on both sides of the aisle. Because if Biden falls asleep in a meeting, the liberals ain't gonna play a lot of shit that shows Biden falling asleep. But the Republican media or the right-wing media will put it on a loop. And it also works in reverse. If Trump falls asleep during an important meeting or slurs his words, like when he couldn't say acetaminophen and things, right-wing media is not going to taunt him for doing that, but the left will. If Biden got up there and couldn't say acetaminophen, the right would have put it on the loop. So, you haven't seen Trump falling asleep in meetings like Biden because chances are you watch media that ain't going to show you that. They would have showed you if Biden was doing it. But Trump has been, you can Google it right on YouTube and see it. There's plenty of videos of Trump sitting there with his eyes closed and shit like that in meetings. You just, it's where you get your media from. Let me go back to the box. Tap the screen, get us on up to 90,000. I need you folks on YouTube to smash that like button as well. We're here most weekdays. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody. We are MAGA friendly. Always have been, always will be. MAGA gets to speak just like every damn body else. We don't censor or limit your time because you got a different political opinion. So understand that coming into the program, you can be critical of anybody on the program, including yours truly. Continuing on with Andy, premium gas, $4.34 in Maryland. Yikes. Andy, good evening. Andy, are you there? Apparently she's not. We'll move on. What does that say here? Biden just got walking his goldfish in water in his shoe is the type of shit he says. Yeah. Like I said, if Trump says something crazy like during the Civil War, soldiers were guarding airports, which is something he actually said. The Civil War was literally something that took place over 100 years before the invention of the aircraft. The right-wing media is not going to taunt him for saying that. They would have been all over Biden for saying something ridiculous like that. Sexy Red, good evening.
I can't stand your ugly black ass.
I gotta be ugly all the time.
Because you don't, I mean, what is it with you, man? Why you don't push back? I mean, you had nuts, I mean, has your nuts dropped or something? Like, do you need some testosterone? I mean, what the fuck, man?
What did I not push back on?
Everything. You let the white team man just blah, 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 and then talking like, okay, straight talk. His head is like the alien. You feel me? That alien head? Like he has brain damage or something. For the love of God, he has brain damage.
Let me just say this. I get callers direct messages all the time.
But that's going to take your life.
Hold on. You're interrupting me without even knowing what I was. You don't even know what I was about to say. You get to talk. You still don't know it. You have no clue what I'm about to say. You're just talking. I get direct messages. I get comments all the time of folks who say, I don't push back on you. I just let you talk too much.
You don't push back on me. No, Negro. You always push back on my fucking ass.
No.
Oh, God. Yes, you are. You for real?
Yeah, I'm for real.
I'm for real? You don't push back on me? You can push back on me. Push back on me. I want you to, you ugly, you fucking baboon looking idiot. I want you to. Push back on me so I can terrorize your ass. They want you to get
Why
terrorized.
I gotta be terrorized? Why I gotta be terrorized?
Because you know what? I know facts. Like you all have cupcaking on the white man. Oh, Trump did so good on the border. You guys can't name me three things. What makes the border more secure than under Biden? Biden did more for the border. Yes,
you crazy.
Did.
You are absolutely crazy.
That's why you got cock in your mouth. No. Go look at the numbers. Do not lie. Like,
see?
God.
And every time you come up. But the idea that you think Biden did more on the border than Trump is insane. That's insane.
He did. His numbers don't lie. He has more deportations. He has more encounters at the border. What does Trump have? Less encounters at the border. That means they walking their little happy asses right through Melania's legs, wide open, can't feel the walls. Hello.
Well, first of all, Biden didn't do anything for all the illegals that were already in the country. He did border shit. Trump is one after illegals that were criminals, folks that should not be in here.
70% of what he's getting and he's taking away are people that are working and stuff. Get the white cock out your mouth. I know you like
either they have a legal right to be here or they don't.
You know what? I'd rather have them here than have the white T-man here.
So what do you want? So you're saying you would rather have illegal immigrants in the country than white people?
You know what? They put into the system. They They pay taxes. You know what white T-man do? They take their own welfare.
What the fuck? How you gonna try to say that white people don't pay taxes? That sounds racist. You just sound like you don't like white people. You just sound like you just bashing white people.
You know what they tell about Mexicans and Latinos and black people? We're lazy. We don't want to work. We're the D drug. You know what I mean? They all this, they all that. I give them what the hell they want. I give them the same damn sauce, honey. They mofos want to stay on the ass.
So what is your purpose? Just to bash Caucasian folks?
Oh, well, my purpose is you wouldn't know.
That's all I'm hearing is that you
know what, Tim? I'm not like you.
No, you're not, because I don't do that. I don't just bash them.
Who's on food stamps the most? Go tell me who's on the government assistance the most. I'll wait.
No.
It ain't my black ass.
No.
It ain't Joe ugly
No,
ass.
you just said
Who is on food assistance more than anybody else?
There's more whites on assistance than anybody else. I agree with that.
Up.
But you just said you would rather have illegal immigrants in the country than white people.
Yep, because you know why? They put more into the system than
that is not true.
Do you realize they take from the system? Yes, they do. No, it is statistically known. They take from the system. The immigrants, they put in because they cannot get Medicaid. They cannot get food stamps. They cannot get welfare.
What you saying is crazy. White people put.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
I mean, you just sound like you got hatred.
Get off your knees.
I'm not on my knees.
I don't want you to tell. It's the damn truth. It is the damn.
No,
you don't like the truth. You don't.
I don't like the bashing. I don't like the.
You know what? Let me tell you this, okay? When they go to work their TPN number and stuff, they pay taxes. They cannot get nothing from the taxes. They do not get welfare. They do not get nothing like that, right? The white T-man goes and collects the shit. And they don't put like all that shit. They put more, and it's statistically known. Go look. It is known. Why do you think Trump wants them back in the country now? Why do you think it is? Because they're losing money. They're losing money.
That ain't got nothing to do with what you said, though. That ain't got nothing to do with you. No.
It is true.
What you said about the white population is not true.
Oh, it's not true?
No.
Go Google it. Go Google it. Google it. You know what? You're so into it. Go Google this shit. Go look at it. It's a fucking truth. See, you push back on me, but the white man you won't.
Because you said some
white man right here. No. You let the white man come up here talk all about the WAR and all this shit. All this shit that's misinformation. But you didn't push back at all.
You little
muppet. You little bunch of little cock in your mouth. You didn't push back at all.
I've never had somebody call me a muppet. Goddamn. What the fuck?
You are a muppet. Yes, master. Did you see what
muppet?
At least I got my outfit on. I got my fucking whip.
I got called a muppet. I got called a muppet? What am I, Bert and Ernie? A muppet?
Yes,
Wow.
master.
I got called the fucking muppet.
You owe me 30 damn minutes. You owe me 30 minutes.
No, we can't do that right now. We can't do that like that.
But you just did to the white man.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
Is that all you see is skin color?
I sure do. Because they see my skin color. You know what they do to me? You know what they do to me? Let me tell you what they do to me and my people. And
your people.
Our people.
What are you, Queen? Your people. What are you, Queen Nefertiti now? Your people? What the fuck?
Yeah, my people. Because let's break the real facts down, okay? BLM, right? We was protesting peacefully. Guess who got busted for not being for doing the fires and stuff? Who was it, Tim? Who was it, Tim? Are you gonna get the white talk?
There were a couple places where.
No, there wasn't a couple. Who did it?
There
the
were.
White T-man.
There were a couple places. Right. Yeah, there were a couple places. You asking me a question? You asked a question and you don't want me to answer it or something? You want to answer it yourself?
But why did you tell the white man that though? When he was up here saying it, why did you say no, maggot? It was the white T-man.
Because that ain't totally true. Why do you keep?
It was true.
I tell you,
go look it up, Tim.
When it rains in your area, do you blame the white man for it? You blame the white man for every damn
And that's
thing.
why your ass is wide the fuck open. That's why your
My
ass is wide
ass is open?
Yes. You're on your knees. And you don't even take it up your ass without lube, bitch.
My ass is open?
Don't come at me like that. Don't ever disrespect me like that. You fucking little. Let me tell you something. I gotta be nice. Jesus, work for me because I'm about to terrorize this man.
Why is my ass is open? What happened?
Yes. You get so deep. You know what? I don't even know how your ass gets so holy like that because I don't know how you can feel it because you got it so deep in your ass. Because you know why? Because the way I can't let you down.
Ouch! Get from back there. My ass. Why are you back there?
It's the truth, Tim. You probably don't even have an ass because it's so fucking.
Put it this way. What you're saying is.
God probably bless you with nothing.
Put it this way. What you're saying is so wild. Sarah on YouTube said, "Is this real?" She thinks you're AI.
No, I'm being real, Tim. It's the truth. It's real. It was the right that was making this shit look bad. It was the right. But guess what? On January 6th, what was they doing? They were shitting in the damn thing and stuff, right? They unalived the popos. They beat the popos. But yeah, we was the bad ones. Get the hell out of here. That's why I can't stand your Uncle Ruckus looking fat fucking ass. How about that?
You really like me, don't you? Why I got a piece of...
I can't. You know what, Tim? I promise you on God, I couldn't mess with.
They took Gangsta Grandma down. Oh my God. It happens every. Let me just move on. I'm just gonna. You guys know what happened. We become accustomed to it at this point. But I didn't know my ass was open. Ouch. I've never had somebody tell me your ass is wide open. She called me a Muppet. Like, you know, Bert and Ernie, the Oscar the Grouch. Fucking Muppet. I'm actually kind of hurt by that. Maybe my ass is open because the puppeteer has his hand up it or something. I don't know. I've never been called a... You know, some people say some really awful shit about you and you can kind of take that. How do you take somebody calling you a fucking Muppet? I've never been called that. I don't think I'll ever forget that. That hurt. Anyway, let me go back to the box. Fucking electric company we're on now. Is this an episode of Electric Company? Hey, you guys. A Muppet. Fuck. Where did they go? I don't know how to handle that. Give me a moment, a timeout moment. I'm kind of crashing out here. Never had somebody call me a fucking Muppet. Jesus. Anyway, continuing on with the program before I end up on Sesame Street. Why does your base report her every night? I thought your mandate was to not censor. I don't know if it's my base. In fact, I don't think it's my base. What you know, listen, she's saying some awful shit about me, but she's also very critical of MAGA and white people. So, Dan, I don't think it's my base. My base likes her. My base favors Gangsta Grandma. If anything, I think the person doing that is probably somebody on the right that's also white. I'm just saying, we don't know, we never will know, but I believe that's where it's coming from. And not to mention AI. I mean, some of the statements she's saying is going to trigger AI as well. I don't know if AI could catch my ass is open though. Like, what does that even mean? I'm picturing, you know, somebody use a really large peg and now you can see this big gaping hole after they pulled it out. That sounds frightening. That sounds frightening. It made me feel sore just hearing it. Anyway, let me go back to the box, continuing the program on. Yeah, what is a Muppet? You ever see The Muppets? This is a movie. I mentioned Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street. They were Muppets. Elmo, Oscar the Grouch. All of them were Muppets. Are you in a different country, Jesse Johnson? Every American that's certainly Gen X, you know, these kids nowadays, I don't think, well, Trump don't fucking destroy PBS. I don't even know if Sesame Street is around anymore. Trump defunded. You guys talk about defunding police. He defunded the Muppets. Trump defunded PBS, so I don't even know if Sesame Street is now still televised in every city like it used to be when we were kids. Trump defunded PBS. So, but yeah, if you're Gen X, probably even I would say probably right up to the millennials. What is the generation after Gen X? Because I think that generation probably knows that stuff too. And then after that, I think it's kind of started fading out because at that point you had the internet, you had all kinds of shit you could watch. But Gen X, the baby boomers know about that shit. I mean, all of those older generations are going to know about that. But what is the generation? When I say after, I mean younger, not older. Baby boomers are the ones that gave birth to us, the Gen X folks. But what is the generation that we gave birth to? Is that that ain't the millennials, is it? Is it millennials? Okay. Well, that generation, most of them Z, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know, because now they in beta, alpha, beta, and all this other shit they into now. But I believe Generation Z is what it's, Gen X, Gen Y is what it's called. There's a Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z. And then they went from A, B, they started over it. There's an alpha generation, and now they're on beta. So go whatever that is. But anyway, I think the generation after Gen X also are aware of that stuff. But after that, it kind of faded out because the internet is just giving you a host of more shit to watch, far more channels. Cable TV is something that was around from birth. So they have a lot more options than we did. Anyway, continuing on with the program, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. Probably funded by left-wing NGOs. I don't know. It's okay to get rid of networks funded by the left, but networks funded by the right are okay, huh? That's why I keep saying all the time, Trump is not seeking fairness. He's seeking favoritism. He's not coming out to right the wrongs of the left. He's just trying to swing them all to the right. Anything the left, anything that was done wrong in favor of the left, Trump doesn't want to correct that. He wants to just make it in favor of the right. He wants the media, the elections, all of that stuff to be equally as unfavorable as he claimed they were in favor of the left. He just wants it on his side. He's not coming to correct anything. He's just swinging the pendulum the other way. He's coming for revenge, not correction. Thank you for the hat and mustache there. It's Girl Kemi 248. It's a hell of a name. Thank you. Appreciate the hat and mustache. Help your boy out. Some of you folks certainly support the program. Hat and mustache, TikTok cap helps out the program. Certainly appreciate the support. Travelman. Now, Travelman, I saw you in the comments. Well, did he drop? We got Stick the Ruler. Stick, good evening.
What's going on, Tim? Oh, man.
I took a beating, man. Took a beating.
It's been a lot. It's been a lot. Yeah, it's been a lot. I love Gangsta Grandma, but God damn it, just slow down, Gangsta Grandma. If you can hear me, just slow down.
I don't think she has I think that is level 1 for her. I don't think she has any slower level than that. That's level 1. She's like a Ferrari. You don't, that doesn't drive slow. You touch the gas pedal, it zooms off.
Yeah, but Tim, you that special guy to know how to push them damn buttons too.
She comes on the program calling me ugly Muppet. I just said hi. What can I do?
And then she calmed down.
She didn't calm down.
No. She calmed down after you said, hold on, because she paid her money or whatever the case may be to come up and do her little battle.
No, that woman. No, listen. She comes at me immediately. She comes harder than Peter North. She comes straight at you. I mean, all over you. Nothing you can do about it.
Listen, Tim, you can talk to me all day. I know you. I'm going to tell you just like the preacher used to tell you. I know you.
Okay.
You know how to push them buttons. And when you ask Gangsta Grandma certain questions, when you already know the goddamn answer, that'll piss anybody off. You try that shit with my drill sergeant. Your ass gonna be doing push-ups. You ain't gonna be big. You gonna be buff and strong as hell. And they really gonna be scared of you. So yeah, that's Gangsta Grandma. She's the drill sergeant that knows you know the answer, but you still.
I don't know. Gangsta Grandma got a thing for Caucasians, and I see a few of you folks caught the Peter North reference. Some of you Gen X's in there. Go ahead.
It's you, Tim. Well, Trump said, and that's it. From there, because Trump said you said you repeated what goddamn Trump said. Well, Trump said.
Well, then you are hereby admitting that Gangsta Grandma has Trump derangement syndrome. If all I gotta say is Trump said and she goes off, she has Trump derangement syndrome.
No, she don't have Trump derangement syndrome. She just understands the assignment that motherfucker ain't shit.
I think maybe she don't have Trump. Maybe she just has derangement syndrome. Period. She goes off.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The people who have Trump derangement syndrome is the people who, no matter what Trump does, that they agree with his dumb ass. That's the people who have Trump derangement syndrome. The people who have Trump derangement syndrome is the ones that still go into their mailbox thinking they got a check coming from Doge. They go into their mailbox thinking they got a check coming from the goddamn tariffs. They believe that the gas prices are gonna fall. They believe that he's gonna get the groceries down. All of that has to do with Trump, and they're thinking about it all the goddamn time, and they're battling reality.
I mean, listen, Trump talked about how much money the tariffs are going to bring in. We now have some control over what is done in Venezuela. We may soon get some control over Iran, Cuba. For all you know, with him having over 2 years left, I don't want to say Doge, but a check may come. It may actually happen.
Oh, okay. So Cuba ain't got no lights, and they money. I know it ain't worth nothing. So lies. That's number one.
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, whether we're talking about weapons and ordnance, because I think Straight Talk brought up all of the weapons we use has got to be replaced. You're talking about Cuba. I mean, there may be a ton of jobs that get created from Trump.
I'm glad you brought that up. The other day we had I had a live, and we were talking about the shortage of tomahawks. There were matter of fact, you was in the live. When we were talking about the tomahawks and how they were in a what's the word that they used? We were short of it.
Depleted state.
Depleted. Yes.
Yeah.
And we were arguing with Duke. This is exactly what we were trying to tell Straight Talk, Duke, and anybody else that disagreed with us that if they're okay. So if that's the excuse you want to use, I'm going with the excuse, right? The $200 billion is for the replenishment of tomahawks. Then you shouldn't have been arguing with us inside the damn live, because that's what we was trying to tell you in the first place. If that's the excuse you're going to use, right? Same thing with the Biden and the WARs. Well, no Congress had called for war, so what are we talking about? It's the same thing under Trump that y'all trying to give us that excuse. We're going to use the same thing.
I'll just say some of this is politics, because there is no denying that if a liberal came along after Trump and did the exact same thing, the right would be upset about it. Didn't ask Congress for help, because a lot of them are saying, well, what Trump did ain't nothing special. Biden or Obama did something similar. I mean, if another liberal came in under Trump and started a conflict with another country and it was going just like this, it's not like the Republicans are going to go, well, you know, Trump did the same thing, so it's okay. No, they're going to try to prosecute that guy. They're going to try to pursue that guy. I mean, this is costing a fortune. Trump has literally been using military ordnance on countries since he became president a year and a half ago. I mean, whether it's Yemen, Nigeria, Venezuela, all of them bombs, that stuff costs a fortune. You've been dropping this stuff for a year and a half now.
So again, Tim, the thing about it is, if we go with it, Straight Talk's reasoning, they're replenishing. When we initially had that conversation, that was the conversation that we had a shortage. Regardless of what they was talking about, they had a shortage. So now they need 200 million. Now, 200 billion.
Billion.
Sorry about that. Now, let's go to how much the war is costing us currently today. They said it costs $1 billion a day, right? So if you're asking for 200 billion, I'm gonna say you asking for about another 180 days worth of more war.
Well, no, because if it cost $1 billion, well, yeah, I get your point, because we've been in war for 20 days. That's a good point. So you need another 180 billion, right? Just to last 180 more days, because it's $1 billion a day. So you don't buy into Trump's claim that the war is going to be over soon? He's not going to put boots on the ground.
Oh no, I'm gonna be honest with you. Rangers don't just lace up their damn boots and jump out of planes and get ready to go somewhere for shit. They don't do that. All right. The Navy SEALs and any other support team and group, especially the Marines, they don't lace up their boots, get their stuff ready fly halfway across the world to do shit. You gotta be okay. And then also, I told you before, the thing with Putin, he met with him twice.
Straight, hold on. Straight talking in comments says yes, they do. He says yes, they do. They
straight talk. He's in the army, but I guarantee you will not say that to a Marine's face.
Yeah, that one. I think what you said, Stick. That's just straight logic. Yeah, you're not gonna waste all of that money to send all of them around the world and just have them sit on the ship and return and come back home. That is a colossal waste of money.
Well, let me bring this all together. He met with Putin twice, right? Fantastic. We got this done and that done. We had a great talk. Nothing came out of it, at least publicly, right?
Trump has a lot of great talks that nothing come. In fact, Trump, he doesn't have a talk unless it's great.
Okay, so check it out though. What's next? That's what the talk was about. What's next? All right. He meets with him again. What's next? Next thing you know, we trying to take over the whole damn hemisphere. The whole hemisphere, right? North, south, all of that. We want it all, right? That's what's next. Now, when you look at Ukraine, before they got attacked, what did Putin do?
What do you mean?
What did he do?
Well, you talking about when he was saying it was he made it sound like they were just playing war games or something like that, amassing near the border. You talking about that?
Okay, so I ain't gonna put boots on the ground.
Yeah, he did say. Well, what Putin did is he used mercenaries. I think they were called the Wagner Group or something like that. So he had boots on the ground in Ukraine, and they were not even copying to the fact that they were Russian soldiers until we started saying, well, if these ain't Russians, we're going to kill these motherfuckers. And we started killing them.
Look, this is the thing. This is what I'm trying to make you understand the parallel. Putin lined all his people up along the border, right? Right now, we already got people in the streets. We already got people right near them, and we got people headed that way. But somehow, some way, with everybody knowing this, I ain't putting boots on the ground. Yeah. It's the same thing Putin did. It's the same thing.
That's a good point, and I do agree with the similarities in how Russia was amassing troops at the border of the Ukraine while denying that they were about to attack when it was pretty obvious. And you're right, America is doing the same thing towards Iran, saying that we're not about to put boots on the ground and stuff like that. Even when Trump was sending all those ships over there originally, he was suggesting that he was there to negotiate with the Iranians. I mean, you don't send all of that shit for a negotiation. You don't, I mean, if you sending all of that, I agree with you. You're not sending all that stuff unless you pretty much expect something to happen. You don't send that many ships.
And you're not asking for all of that money to goddamn replenish. You asking that money so you can dig in deep. That's what you're doing. You want at least another 180 days. Let's be honest, because it's $1 billion a day. You want another 180 days, you're gonna take that 180 million and use it towards that. And then the other 20 days, you're gonna just say, okay, y'all come on home. Yeah. Y'all get ready to come on.
And I do want to address straight talking the comments who keep saying that we do send soldiers and call them back. That ain't the norm. It may have happened a couple times here or there, but for the most part, when we amass troops or we amass military equipment, something happens. That's throughout American history. We don't normally send that much ordnance, that many ships, and that much manpower somewhere, and then call it all back. In most cases throughout American history, something happened when we sent that much shit over there.
And not only that, this is, okay, so you don't want to call it a war. So guess what? If those boots touch the ground and get on any Iranian soil, I pray for those soldiers that they come home safely.
They're not all coming home.
Listen. But what I will say is this. You cannot say it's not a war now. Because guess what? You got boots on the ground. So if you don't want to call it a war, we're going to call it an invasion. Because that's what it is. They're foreign soldiers going into another country that they were not.
Shit, it was an invasion. It was an invasion the minute you start dropping, the minute you took out the Ayatollah. I mean, it's been an invasion.
That's not an invasion. That's an air raid. That's an excursion. That's anything else but an invasion.
Listen.
Listen, Tim. How many people we got headed that way? 20,000?
No, right? Like 2,000.
2,000?
I thought it was 2,000. Yeah, I thought it was 2,000.
It's 2,000 Marines, and then it's how many Rangers?
I don't know. But MAGA Reacts says 4,000. I mean, put it this way. It started out with a few hundred. They're upping the numbers. The numbers keep going up. So we don't know, but the numbers have been constantly going up.
If 1,000 Iranian soldiers landed in I don't know, Manhattan, right? Or Coney Island or anywhere on our soil and started pew-pewing people, trying to take over buildings and set up shop. Is that an invasion?
Shit, you don't need them to be soldiers. They call the illegal immigrants an invasion.
That's my point. So that's my point, Tim. That's the whole fucking point. What you just said. They called the illegal immigrants. I don't know what made them illegal, but anyway, they called the people with no papers invaders. But then you got us with all of this gear, helmets, night vision goggles, boots. We got the whole get up, our name with the flag on it, everything. But that's not an invasion? No, fuck that. That's an invasion. If you don't want to call it a war, then you want to invade them people. Be honest. Like, be fucking honest.
I call it a war. To me, when you look up the definition of what a war is, it says nothing about boots on the ground or Congress. If I'm firing at you and you firing at me, we at war. It's as simple as that. All this other shit, I mean, no, you don't have to. I mean, we had what was called the Cold War. Nobody declared anything, and it goes down in history as a Cold War. It was a war. Nobody, you don't have to. This whole Congress must declare shit. No, that's just semantics.
It's funny. They'll tell you what's with all the wordplay and the word salad.
That's what it is.
What's with all y'all word salad? Y'all the ones out there doing all the word salad with this is a war. Now, mind you, the president came out and told you, yeah, this is a war. The president came out and told you.
He literally said we won the war. He didn't say we won the excursion, we won the conflict. He said we won the war. I mean, he said it himself. So did he not know what he's talking about?
And somehow, because I heard what he said and I repeated it, I got TDS. Somehow, because I repeated what he said and what he told everybody, not just me. He told the MAGAs, he told the blaggers, the splaggers, he told the Democrats, he told everybody. We won already, right?
Yeah.
He told Great Britain, the war over. What I need your ships for?
Yeah, he said. Yeah, he also said we don't need people that join wars that are already won. Everywhere you look, Trump is calling it a war. You show me where Trump is actually posting or calling this an excursion or a conflict. Everywhere he talks about this, he's calling it a war. He himself is doing that.
So that's the point. And then Pete Hegseth, bro, whatever you want to call him, you know, he in the background, he denying shit. The other day, right, or was it yesterday? It might have been yesterday.
Yeah, Hegseth is about to end up under a city bus.
Look, he said, definitely, because he want the spotlight.
Yeah.
He want the spotlight. Trump didn't like that shit, right? Because he said we about to turn up this, we about to do all this, we about to, and then when they ask Trump, no, we ain't finna do that. No ground. So guess what? Because he done jumped out there, got all of that. All of them, what do they call them? Clips. All of them, you know, everybody replaying the clips.
Right.
He done outshine Trump. Trump don't like that.
No.
All right? Trump do not like that.
No, he doesn't.
You cannot outshine, and you better not snitch on him. The moment you snitch on him, known, right? Was it known that snitched on him? Yeah, I think it was. She did all them commercials and shit. Yeah, said that. Yeah, he knew all about it. That was
Christy Nome said that Trump authorized the $200 million for television ads. That's crazy. $200 million that woman charged. I mean, I just, that's why I say I wish I knew Trump. I mean, money just falls off of this dude. I mean, Christy Nome, you know, they were getting jets and shit like that. I mean, she was getting new planes. I mean, there's just money. They just going through money. My guess is if once you get liberals in there, and you start getting an accurate portrayal of how much money they've been spending on stuff, it's going to be a scandal for the ages. I mean, because now we're talking about potential insider trading that just came out today. Everything from ballrooms. There's just money is everywhere except in the hands of the American people. It's everywhere amongst them.
What's going to happen is what happens every time a Democrat or y'all like to call them liberals, when they get into office, we fix shit. That's what we do. Even if you part of the team, basically. Like, we done already cussed you out. We done already said what we're gonna say. Now it's just time to fucking pull our goddamn sleeves back like we always do. Whether it was Bill Clinton, whether it was Barack Obama, whether it was Joe Biden.
But the Democrats don't have a leader right now.
No. We got a leader. That's bullshit. Just like, hold on. Just let me clear this shit up real quick. Just like we had a message, motherfuckers was just hard-headed and didn't fucking listen. That's just period.
Give me some names. Give me some names. Who do the Democrats have?
Look, Ms. Harris is still in the...
Are you crazy? Kamala Harris, are you crazy?
Just listen to me, Tim. I still got to finish what I was saying.
Okay,
we got a message and we got leaders. Y'all just don't want to say we got them because Hakeem Jeffries is already in a spot as the minority leader. So he's a leader, right? Then you got Chuck Schumer and anybody else, and then you got Jasmine Crockett still out there. You still got people out there.
Jasmine Crockett couldn't even win with Democrats.
Listen, regardless of what you talking about, you doing the same thing you did during the election. You got people telling you what it is and what it should be, but you still focused on that white T-man with the orange hair. So at the end of the day, and the orange skin. So at the end of the day, we tell you what we tell you.
I asked you, telling me Democrats have leaders.
Everything that she said, Tim, came fucking true.
I'm not arguing with that. I'm not arguing with that. I asked you to give me some Democrat leaders. You come up with Jasmine Crockett and Kamala Harris. Are you fucking kidding me?
Jasmine Crockett, Kamala Harris, ALC,
all these my God.
All these men that's on the goddamn Democratic side can run. They can go up there and we can choose from them. And just like, who the fuck do the Republicans got? They motherfucking Trump didn't even go to the primary and they still picked his dumb ass. So now that he done did his 2 terms, he out the way, who the fuck they got? You name me somebody.
I think that Marco Rubio would get much more support from the Republicans than Jasmine Crockett or Kamala Harris would from Democrats.
Listen, I ain't even really tell you who I think is gonna win, regardless of who the fuck they put up. I believe goddamn Gavin Newsom from California, the white T-man that looks real good, that the white T-folks won't mind having him as a leader because he looks so good. They love him, right? In the sense of, at least they love his skin and his face, right? And then if he choose to have somebody like a Harris and this Jasmine Crockett, guess what? Everybody said,
you want to wait Jasmine Crockett as a running mate for VP?
All day.
Oh my God.
Guess what? It's the same thing as a Joe Biden. Joe Biden was the same man that told you, I'll take Donald Trump behind the school, the school gym, and we'll duke it out. That's when everybody fell in love with Joe Biden. Other than that, when he told him to shut up, man, you know it? Everybody fell in love with Joe. Oh yeah, Joe's strong.
I think you,
especially, and I'm sorry I have to say it like this, especially on the MAGA side, are stupid. The American people, especially on the MAGA side, are stupid. They will fall for that. He's got gumption. He's the right color. He's
you lost me at Jasmine Crockett for VP, but I gotta move on, Stick. I don't think there's any chance in hell that she would come close to that.
Did they lose you when they put Ms. Harris as VP?
No, because once again, Biden was a much more formidable candidate than the people you gave me. Biden's tenure in Washington.
Gavin Newsom.
I don't think it would do Gavin Newsom. I don't think it would do Gavin Newsom any favors right now to put Jasmine or Kamala as his running mate.
I'm gonna say it again.
2 losers, 2 people that had already lost. I hope they don't do what you're saying.
You asked for leaders. I gave you leaders. She was already the vice president. That's a leader. She was already a senator. That's a leader. She was already in the judicial system as a lawyer and as the attorney general, correct?
Yeah.
That's a leader. So at the end of the day, she's still a leader. And
I don't disagree with that. I got to move it on, but I'm just simply saying the people who have spoken, they don't want her. I got to go, Stick. Thanks for coming through. And yeah, I'm just simply saying Kamala Harris has ran for president once or twice already. She couldn't even get the Democrats to put her at the top of the ticket. I don't think she would look. I wonder with the woman, but I don't think she is what the Democrats should put forward. I just don't. I don't see where her support has grown during the offseason. Like after Trump lost to Biden, it was pretty clear that his support from the Republican Party was still pretty strong. After Kamala Harris lost to Trump, I'm not seeing that from Democrats. I'm not seeing where there's still this huge amount of energy around Kamala Harris. I'm just not seeing it. I just don't think that would be a good idea to do that. And as we've seen with Jasmine Crockett in Texas, once again, her own party went with Tallarico. I just don't think those two would be the people that should run behind Gavin. Now, I could see some hope in Gavin. If he can kind of separate himself from some of the antics in California, because they do have high taxes. There's a few cities there with high crime rates, but if he can calm down the antics behind that and rise up a little bit more on some of the antics of Trump, I could see Gavin Newsom certainly going far in the Democrat Party. But first of all, I will say this. Straight white Christian male. How many times have I said that? I think the Democrats, at least this go round, because folks have become so intolerant of others, the Democrats need to stick with straight white Christian males. Stay away from the LGBTQ, minorities, in my opinion, and or women. I'm not saying in the future that might not be something we can discuss, but right now in this particular divisive environment, you got to put your largest caliber in the gun. And I think it needs to be a straight white Christian male. And I would probably suggest doing that on the running mate as well. I would say probably do that on the running mate as well. Now, Tamara says Andy Bashir. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Is he the one that also has a little bit of Jewish heritage in him? I don't think that's as damaging. I do think it is damaging to some degree, though, because there are a lot of liberals and conservatives now that are not very pro-Israel. After dealing with Gaza and now what's going on in the region, there's a lot of, when they were saying Genocide Joe has got to go. And now you see folks on the MAGA side going after Trump because of his backing of Netanyahu, the Megyn Kellys, the Tucker Carlsons, the Candace Owens. So I don't think being of Jewish descent is as harmful as being black right now, or being a woman right now, or being gay right now. But it is, like I said, straight white Christian male, if you ask me. I'm just saying, right now, straight white Christian male. That's what a large majority of this country wants. Remember, you got to try to siphon off some of the unhappy Republicans. You probably aren't going to touch MAGA. They're going to ride with Trump no matter what. They're going to ride with whoever Trump puts in no matter. Trump is not running again, but whoever Trump nominates, most of MAGA is going to ride with that person no matter what, as long as Trump is still healthy and endorsing them. So you're not going to, but you're not going to have as easy of a job siphoning off any of them. But there are disgruntled MAGA. There are independents, and there are traditional conservatives. You need some of those people. And to get those people, your chances are best with a straight white Christian male. You're not going to win a lot of traditional conservatives with a black woman. I'm just telling you. Somebody that's gay is not going to do well with a bunch of traditional conservatives or disgruntled evangelicals, for instance, that voted for Trump. Them folks that are not happy with Trump for whatever reason, they're not going to go with, black women and gay people and shit like that. They're not going to vote for that. So I'm just simply saying, for the sake of the Democrats making an effort of it, straight white Christian male. Swallow your pride. Get up off with all of that. I hate to say stuff like this, equality or what the right calls woke or whatever. You got to fight your battles one at a time. You got to fight your battles one at a time. Put a tourniquet on the leg wound and take care of what happened to his chest. Focus on the most serious shit first. And then down the line, you can then start going for your LGBTQ once you get your people in power. But in the beginning, straight, white, Christian, male. I can't say it any clearer than that. I just think that trying anything else in this current environment, is harmful. I just think it's harmful. But looking in the comments, though, did you ever stop to think they won't vote for them because their policies suck and has nothing to do with black or white? No, I didn't think that, because I'm sure being black and a woman has something to do with it. No, I don't think it's just policies, because if it was only policies, you'd be bitching at the fact that Trump is not running on the policy he campaigned and promised you. So no, it has a lot more to do with policies. Trump ain't doing what he promised you. America first, taking care of, he's talking about liberating Iranians and shit like that. He didn't campaign on doing that. Helping out the Venezuelan citizens at our expense. He didn't campaign on none of that shit. So no, they didn't vote for Kamala for a lot more than policies. Because, like I said, Trump is in there now and they're saying he's the best president we've ever had, and he ain't providing none of the policies he promised. You didn't vote for our gas prices to go up, grocery prices to stay the same or go up. He ain't doing what he promised. So don't tell me the policies are the only thing that's going on. Looking in the comments here real quick. When does my life get better under Trump's? Well, Trump is like Chuck Norris. Your life got better when he told you it got better. I don't care if you broke. If he say you rich, you rich. That's how it's supposed to be. He don't have to deliver. He just has to say he has. That's supposed to be all you needed, because that's what has worked. If he says he has already won in Iran, then damn it, he won. If he says America's the hottest country on earth and everybody loves us, then damn it, they do. If he's saying right now everybody respects America now than they did under Joe Biden, even though ain't none of them helping them out in Iran, you supposed to believe that everybody respects us. That's it. It is because he said it is. In the comments here, he is 100% doing what he said. Are you drinking, Straight Talk? He didn't say nothing about liberating Iranian citizens. You show me. All Trump campaign rallies are on film. You show me one of his campaign rallies where he was talking about liberating protesters in Iran. They were getting killed when he was campaigning. You think they didn't just start doing what they're doing? It was illegal to do that shit when he was campaigning. Show me one of his videos where he was talking about liberating Iranians. He didn't campaign on that. And you guys are cheering it on. Yeah, you should want these people free. Show me where he said any of that during a rally. Get the fuck out of here. He wasn't talking about doing that or the stuff he's doing in Venezuela. He wasn't talking about none of that stuff. So, look, like I said, if he says it, that's good enough for some MAGA. That's it. If he was talking about bombing North Korea tomorrow, MAGA would suddenly say that's what we voted for. Go figure. Anyway, looking in the comments, every Democrat lowers the deficit, gives us a deflation, and makes the economy stronger. Every one of them. Tim, this is what Gangsta Grandma was talking about with you. Did you forget about Barack Obama being one of the most popular presidents in history? No, I didn't forget about Obama being the most popular president in history. But Obama came along when it was that time. When Obama came along, the country was in the mood to unite. The country's not in the mood to unite right now. The country's in the mood to fight. So this isn't, Obama probably wouldn't win in this climate. I'm not talking about the one we know and love already. Obviously, Obama has already earned his stripes. But I'm saying, let's say, for instance, we had never had a black president, and Obama came out of the woodwork. I don't think he would win in this current environment. I don't think MAGA would vote for Obama, and that's about 25 to 30% of the voters in this country. I don't think they would vote for him now. Some of them did vote for him when he ran in 2008 and in 2012. But I think and this, I'm going to use this word. For lack of a better term, I'm just going to say this: the warping of MAGA, the way they think now. I don't believe Barack Obama would win many of that crowd at all. The MAGA is the MAGA, the way they vote now is totally different than how they voted in '08 and 2012. This MAGA is different because remember, a lot of these folks voted for Mitt Romney and John McCain. They don't even like those people now. So MAGA has been completely fundamentally changed from Trump. And I don't believe Obama would get hardly any of their votes. And that's like 30% of the voting base out there. So I don't think Obama would win right now. I think MAGA is so much further to the right than they were in '08 and 2012 that it just wouldn't happen. You didn't hear MAGA talk. The folks who represent MAGA in 2008, 2012, they were called the Tea Party, some of the same folks. You didn't hear them bashing Martin Luther King and shit like that. They've went further to the right. Some of the stuff they saying now, they wasn't saying that stuff back then. Some of the stuff they saying now is much further right. You didn't hear them talking about Christianity need to be in schools the way some of the stuff, the abortion bans and shit like that. They are much further right now than they were back then. So no, I don't think Obama, if he was just coming on the scene now, I think for the most part, all of MAGA would be against him. It's just a different time. We don't need traditional conservatives. Trump lost the independents. This will be a landslide. Plus or minus the Save America Act. I do believe if the Save America Act doesn't go through, Trump is going to lose badly. But in defense of Trump's saving the day, I think he has a very long arm with a lot of stuff up his sleeve. Declaring emergencies, utilizing ICE, delaying elections. You got Speaker of the House Mike Johnson refusing to certify people. I think there's now, just simply based on the votes, I think the Democrats are on course to have a very big win in the midterms. But you're not beating George Bush. You're going against Trump. And Trump has shown that he will use loopholes and things like that if he can, because the man thinks he's fighting for his life. The man believes the Democrats are not only going to impeach him, they're going to likely try to arrest him. And I think even people on the left believe that what Trump is fearing is probably true. So he has a genuine interest in trying to stop the Democrats from winning at all costs. And that's going to go beyond just letting people vote and seeing where the cards fall. You hear Steve Bannon talking about surrounding polling places with ICE. All of that's going to be in liberal areas. It's going to be a whole bunch of folks on the right saying Democrats are cheating and all Republicans are honest. Just like it was in the last election with Trump. Trump has never complained about Republican fraud. It's going to be all Democrats are cheating and all Republicans are honest. So you're going to have ICE floating around polling places in blue areas. They're not going to be hanging around in Savannah, Georgia. They're going to be in Atlanta. They're going to be in places to fuck with potential Democrats. And there's a host of excuses you can make up to declare some kind of presidential emergency for why the election can't be certified. And then, of course, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, they'll just claim whatever congressional election wasn't held fairly, and then you'll have Mike Johnson refusing to certify it. And they'll delay that for whatever time period. Just like when the country was shut down and you had an Arizona congresswoman win, Mike Johnson would not certify her. He had the total ability to do so and just said, I'm not going to do it until the country's back up and running. He just made that up out of thin air. Kind of like when Mitch McConnell didn't certify Obama's Supreme Court pick. Just said it's too close to the election, so I'm just going to not do it. And then when it was time for Trump to make a Supreme Court pick that was even closer to the election, he suddenly changed his mind and it was okay to certify him again. You think Mike Johnson ain't going to do some shit like that? You think Trump ain't going to do some shit like that? So understand that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be widespread claims of Democrat cheating, and then they'll use that as a springboard to not certify elections and open up. All the Republicans are going to be honest, though. It's not going to be any Republican cheat. It's going to be all Democrats. Tim, stop. MAGA don't talk for all Americans. No, I said 30%. About 25 to 30% of the voting bloc is MAGA. Not all, but that's a lot. And that's enough to make huge differences in some areas. Some areas, that's most of the people. Like in Marjorie Taylor Greene's area, MAGA's probably 70%, 70, 80%. I mean, that's a lot. That's going to make big differences in certain areas. So them folks, they're riding with Trump. They're going to go, whoever Trump endorses, that's who they go with. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You've seen what Trump was able to do to Marjorie Taylor Greene. So clearly what he says in the eyes of MAGA is kind of like the know-all, end-all. Anyhow, folks, I do appreciate the 139,000. I do got to step away. As always, you guys know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. If you favor this type of commentary from all sides of the aisle, follow the program if you're watching us on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack. If you happen to be watching on YouTube, give your boy a sub. Thank you. And by the way, on the way out for my YouTube viewers, I'm going to ask you guys to smash that like button. It helps out with the algorithm. It helps to bring more MAGA. You know how I like my MAGA on my YouTube. Smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. And until then, I'll see you folks tomorrow. You guys have a good night and take care. It's your boy Tim, the Handsome Liberal. I got to go. Catch you later. I think I'm going to catch you later.